Going on, party people? I hope you're all doing well. 7 a.m. stream. Let's get it going and see what is cooking. So what we're going to be doing today is reviewing all the new goodies, looking through the units, the abilities we can load in, test various things, all that sort of good stuff. And then once we're done with that, we have some replays. So most of the replays are going to be Conquest mode, because most of the people I was able to play with, were Conquest players. Still very fun. You're going to get to see the new units in action, and yeah, and then we'll go from there. What's cracking? All right, I think we're all set. No more messing around. And let us go ahead and begin breaking things down. All right, so we're going to kind of chill out for a minute. Once we're here for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, we are going to begin going through all the goodies. Yes, yes. Very early morning. It's definitely out of my wheelhouse. I usually stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m., so this was a little bit different. What the hell is that? Hold your hands and roll for initiative. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, we're allowed to do multiplayer stuff, correct. We just can't do any campaign stuff. But today we're allowed to do anything as it pertains to battles. So we can review all the units, and we can look at the stats and the abilities, and we can, of course, play multiplayer battles, which we're going to be doing today. Yeah, buddy. Time of Turn of Torment, that's right. Hey, Sunny Raider, thank you for resubscribing, man. Appreciate you guys. All right. Man, before we get started, I have been, just a couple days ago, I don't know when it started, but I started having some issues with, and maybe some of you powerful tech people can, we're talking about it in Discord as well, and some other people have been having the same issues. So I have an NVIDIA graphics setup here, and ever since updating the driver, maybe a week ago, 10 days ago, give or take, I've been getting this bug where sometimes when I'm gaming, it hasn't happened in Total War Warhammer yet, so we should be chilling today. But it happens in Anno and Company of Heroes and a couple other games where when I'm playing it, my 2 monitors go black. The screen goes black. I can still hear sound. There's still power going to the monitor. I can see the power's on, and then it restarts my computer. It's I don't know what's going on with that. If anybody's been having similar issues and found any fixes, let me know. But I have talked to a couple people in Discord and found tons of threads online and people having the same issues since the most recent NVIDIA updates. Yeah, so we're going to go through all the goodies here today, man. It's going to be a balls deep one. We're going to be going for about 4 or 5 hours looking at everything. And yeah, this is not Aislinn here. This is the Sea Helm, the mighty Sea Helm. I have a battle going up with him today. Yeah, I have. Let me check my graphics card. I think it's a 490 or something. Yeah. Let me check here. Yeah, horse. There's some really cool stuff. I got the chance to play I don't know, maybe 15, 20 games yesterday, and that was my first real dive into it. But learned some cool stuff. Might need to roll back the driver, says Inorius. Yeah. I don't know what Studio Driver is. It wouldn't be a heating issue, I don't think. I've been looking at the monitoring it right now. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. So hold up. I'm gonna go to the task manager. Yeah, so right now the temperature on the computer is currently at 51 Celsius, 51 degrees Celsius, yeah, which I don't think is a problem at all. I could be wrong. All right, well, anyways, something to look into. I've had a similar driver issue in the past. I reverted to an old driver and that solved it. Yeah, I did that before the stream. I reverted to an older driver, so we'll see if it works. All right, so I think it's time. Let's quit wasting time here messing around, and let's break everything down. So the first character that we're going to be looking at here today, let me just get this set up on the side here. Perfect. Yeah, and I'll keep the temperature over there so we can keep tabs. All right. So the first character we're going to be checking out is the Sea Helm. So the Sea Helm is your generic High Elf Lord. Now, I've used him in a couple battles. He is basically the option you go for with the High Elves if you just want to have a really, really, if you want him and you want the Mist Mage, you're going to be going for the Sea Helm, right? So the Sea Helm, what does he have? He has Stand Your Ground, he's got an Eagle, and a Skycutter Chariot. Skycutter Chariots are pretty good. His version isn't a missile version, it's straight up just a chariot. And it does have the momentum ability as well. So if the unit is charging, it gets a mass speed and charge bonus and speed increase. So he does have the option for the Skycutter Chariot or also the Great Eagle. Now, his items, he does have the Golden Shield, so it's very similar to what you see from the Dwarf Lord, which is the Star Battle Armor. -5 melee attack, and then he does have this item called Temicador's Gauntlets. This one gives him bonus first large, armor, and damage res if there's a nearby big target. He's all right. You know, I think you probably won't see him more often than not in competitive, but yeah, he's you cannot bring an Archmage of Mists. No, you have to bring the separate unique mage for that because it's like a specialty one. Now, other new stuff, this is just Alistair the White Lion. We do have Sea Lord Iceland. So this guy's really fun. I like him a lot. He has a Star Dragon mount, which is pretty awesome. So what I like to do is put him on a Star Dragon because he has a potion of toughness built in. So Homie has a free healing potion, which gives him armor and melee defense. Really, really nice. So his abilities, Foe Seeker, Stand Your Ground, and now this is one of his more exciting abilities. It's called the Iron-Handed Captain. He has 3 charges of this, and you can instantly rally a routing unit. So if you take a look at him, you can target an ally in range with a 200-meter radius. It instantly rallies them, so they come back from their breaking, and it gives them 100 leadership. So for example, if you have like a really important fight, you don't want to lose a position, he's going to be able to rally those bad boys using the Iron-Handed Captain. Now, his other ability is really fun, too. It's called the Master of the Mists. You can target allies in a 250-meter radius, and they are going to be getting 100% range, by the way. And you also get damage and reload skill, and it gives you stock and snipe. So if you have triple Shadow Walker, triple Shadow Warrior, let's say some Bolt Throwers or Sky Cutter Bolt Throwers, you're going to be able to use this and give 100% range and double their range. So your Bolt Throwers for a period of 35 seconds, not 35, 24 seconds, are going to be getting twice their normal range, which is very, very cool. So I think Master of Mists is fun. I don't know how competitive it'll be, but it's super neat flavor on that. He does also have the Sacred Incense, which is a missile resist, Iron-Handed Captain. Iron-Handed Captain is awesome. Yeah, affects allies in range, leadership is broken. Yeah, it's an area of effect, that's right. So he can pop it like it's hot. So Sacred Incense gives you missile resist, and then we have the Potion of Toughness as well. So yes, Iron-Handed Captain is AoE with 3 charges. It is kind of weird how the Master of the Mist is only 1 charge. It'd be cool if it, I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. But having your Bolt Throwers get that range, or Sisters of Avalorn, right? So you can put your Sisters of Avalorn up to 300 something range and make them into artillery pieces, which is really, really fun. Yeah, I'm excited to see what people come up with for him. And he does have access to the Star Dragon and the Sky Cutter Chariot as well. All right, so other options here. We have all the, of course, the Archmage, I don't think got the Lore of Mists. So if we look here, we'll notice Lore of Mists is not going to be on the Archmage. Okay, so heroes and whatnot. We do have the Caradryan, as I like to call him, Chad Ryan. So this guy, let's take a look. He's really fun. I love this character. So he has the Mark of Asuryan. Now this is a conditional Mortis engine. Basically, when he is below 20% health, he turns on a super strong Mortis engine. Now, if somebody really wants to play with this and try and make it work, hey, go for it. Martial Mastery, I think it looks the same. But yeah, the Mark of Asuryan. So when Homeboy goes below 20%, he does a hardcore Mortis engine. He hits everybody. He does a bunch of work. So he's got Deadly Onslaught, Faint and Repost. Now, this is my favorite ability of his. It's called the Captain of the Phoenix Guard. Essentially what this does is it heals and gives Fizz Res to a unit. Now, you might be like, oh my god, that is a disgustingly OP heal, but it can only target small entities. So this ability right here, the Captain of the Phoenix Guard, is not able to heal dragons. It's not able to heal big targets. It can only heal infantry-sized models. So what I like to do if I'm in a matchup where, I want to use Phoenix Guard or something elite, or if I'm using a foot-based character, for example, you can get a huge heal from the Captain of the Phoenix Guard, which is really, really fun. Kugat's is, I think 24 to 48 or 24 to 36. But yeah, Mark of Asuryan only procs when he's below 20%, and if you heal him, it gets turned off. But yeah, obviously, if you can juggle keeping him low and keeping him alive, then you get a big Mortis engine. Yeah. So he does also have the Phoenix Blade and just a little cute augment item. It gives flammable, bonus first large, and he's got an Ilthamar Chariot, and he has a unique eagle mount too, which is really cool. So you can put him on this eagle, Ashtari, and he's a good fighter. He does also have this unique effect called Frostfire. So when he hits you, it makes you weak to fire and also slows you down. Okay, so that is that. Now, for infantry, you guys wanted me to look at Teclis real quick. I think Teclis has the same stuff. Oh no, they changed them up. Oh no shit. Cascading Fire Cloak, Flock of Doom, Soul Blight. That's new. Chain Lightning, and so Teclis got a little bit of a change up there. I didn't actually notice that. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, co-op with dwarves. Right, you could heal the Dwarf Lords. It might be a Phoenix, his mount. Yeah, I think it must be a Phoenix. I haven't used it yet. Yeah, that's actually a phoenix. Okay, it's not an eagle. You guys are right. I just got my hands on this last night and started playing it for the first time, so I'm still learning with you guys. All right. Now, we do have the Mist Mage as well, okay? So the Mist Mage here is pretty good. I've used him in about 5 or 6 games, and I really, really like him. He does have Mathlon Spite. Now, what Mathlon Spite does is it's kind of like Spirit Leech. It's a single target spell. It does damage, it lowers their speed, and lowers their vigor. Now, this is my favorite spell. It's called Ladriel's Shroud. This one reduces the vigor of, or improves your vigor and makes you immune to contact effects. But if you overcast it, it heals you. So it becomes like an apotheosis. Walk Between Worlds gives you speed, Fizz Res and Strider. Flensing Harg lowers the armor and missile block chance of enemy units. The Writhing Mists gives you block chance, 360 stock and snipe, and lowers enemy leadership and melee defense if used in that manner. And then Mistress of the Deep summons the Oceanids unit, so it summons your monstrous infantry. It does have the Anulian Crystal for power recharge, the Nullstone, which is a silence ability, so you can use this. And I believe, yeah, so when you use the Nullstone, this item is pretty funny. Basically, it silences the entire map for 35 seconds. It's hilarious. So if you just like blow your load on magic against like a vampire count player, this is kind of a cool idea, right? So you basically, yeah, we're going to jump into a game after this and look at all the overcast effects and everything. Don't worry. We will look at it all. Now, this item silences the entire board. The entire board gets silenced here. Really funny. Eagle and Skycutter. And we do have the Obscuring Haze. So basically, when you cast a spell, your entire army gets missile resistance. Pretty cool, actually. Like if you're playing a High Elves versus Wood Elves, for example, and you're going to be missile trading a lot, this could actually be decent. It's a very spammable lore, very spammable. All right. So we've looked at that. We do have Chad Ryan here, and he has his Phoenix mount, which I did miss. And now we're going to be going on over to the infantry. High Elf Monster Mash is pretty damn good. I have a replay of it going up at 2 p.m. today. So at 2 p.m., we're going to be doing that goodness. All right, we do have the Ships Company. So Ships Company here are your sword and board infantry. These guys are great. They have really good stats. So when their martial prowess is active, they're going to be rocking melee defense that's almost 40, and their melee attack's going to be 30. And they're cheap. This is honestly so nice. Having a cheap swordsman unit is great, and not having to index into a ranger to get that. Plus, rangers are straight up like squishier than these guys. These guys, I mean, they have the same HP, but they have silver shields. So very, very nice. The lore passive just gives you missile resist to your entire army. All right, next up we have the ROR. It's going to be the, I love this ROR, it's great. This is the Ships Company ROR, the company of Calandrian or something, I don't know. It's quite a mouthful there. But this guy is just a great up-end Ships Company with Martial Mastery as well. So he's going to have melee defense at 35, and melee attack is actually legit going to be in the 40s. Yeah, we're going to be playing battles today too and showing them. Yeah, they're just bleak swords, but getting bleak swords is nice. You know, Ships Company ROR basically has Martial Mastery, great weapon, and they have 60 armor, whereas the normal Ships Company only have 30. So pretty cool. Now, heading on over here, we do see the ROR Blades of Hoeth. These are the ROR Swordmasters. They do magic damage, and he does also have Martial Mastery and Guardian, so pretty normal stuff, and spell resist to 25%. Whereas when you look at regular Swordmasters, they do not have any spell resist. They don't have Guardian, obviously. So these guys, you're getting Guardian, you're getting magic damage, and you're getting Coronate spell resist, basically. A little bit weaker, which is very, very nice. I love the fact, I mean, that spell resist is one of the biggest buffs you can do to elite infantry. We're going through everything today. All the units, yes. Everything. Okay. So looking at the archers, nothing new here. Nothing new in the cavalry and chariots. And now we're going to go to missile cavalry and chariots. All right. We humans, thank you, man. We got Lord Garethos hanging out in chat. So Lothern Skycutter, 2 variants. You have the archer version, which is just like, you know, the archer version is amazing. Now, the best thing that I love about the Lothern Skycutters that I've had the most success with in my replays is using them to counter skirmish because they have 140 range. They're durable and really quick. So basically what I like to do is use the Lothern Skycutters to shoot down enemy skirmishers from a distance. And then if I'm getting flanked by like clan rats or some crappy infantry unit, you can use the Lothern Skycutters as their chariot using their momentum ability. And you get mass, speed, charge, and charge bonus as well. So they're a very cool unit. They're going to be strong and really strong in Conquest and Land Battle. In Dom, we have yet to see, but I think they'll be very good. They get their value over the course of the long game, though. And yeah, you do get magical attacks, really nice against demons. Now, you do have the Lothern Skycutter Bolt Thrower. Now, these things have been limited. There's only 2 of them. You can only bring 2 of these. So you can't go apeshit and bring like 4 Bolt Throwers in the sky. These things do not do magic damage, but they do have a Bolt Thrower on top. Now, you can use, for example, Iceland to give them a range bonus and get some cool sniping from downtown. It's just a Bolt Thrower that's attached to a chariot. So it's like a Flying Scourge Runner chariot with more range, basically. And it's more expensive at 1,300. Martial Prowess, Momentum, and they do cause fear also. So you can do multi-shot round or single shot, which is very, very fun. Yeah, so single shot and multi-shot right there. Yeah, pretty freaking badass, right? You gotta dig it. So they're really good, and you'll be seeing a lot of replays over the next few days and the next week with those bad boys in action. All right, so next up, we're going to go down to the Monsters and Beasts, and this is where it gets really fun. Now, Oceanids might look underwhelming on the surface, and they may very well be, but they have 0 armor, and their melee attack is really low. But these things do rock 55 melee defense, okay? On top of that, they have a big bonus versus infantry of 14. Perfect Vigor is one of the best things in the game. So they have Perfect Vigor. They never get tired. They're immune to contact effects, so things like poison isn't going to be able to hit them. They are elementals, so they disintegrate like demons, but they do have the immune to contact effects. They have Fizz Res, Missile Resist, and Fire Resistance. So basically, if you're taking pot shots at these things, at the Oceanids, with archers, they're going to be mitigating 50% of your damage unless it is magic damage. So, you know, they're surprisingly durable. I've used them in a couple games. I don't know how good they're going to be, but very, very fun. All right, next up, we do have the Sea Elemental. This thing rules. The Sea Elemental is awesome. It does have 0 armor, but it has a bound ability called Writhing Mists. So this is cool because you can use it on your allies. You can give a nearby AoE radius of allies missile block chance, 360, stalk and snipe. So let's say you're approaching with your infantry and they're getting shot. You can use this and then you stack it together with the Lure of Mist passive, and your army is going to be getting really durable against enemy archers, which is really, really fun. Now, what's cool about these Sea Elementals is when they get low, they split up. So they turn into a small unit. When they go below 25%, it spawns a full health unit of Oceanids, which is insanely good. It's insanely good. Yeah. Just watched. Yeah. Literally evaporated. No, it's brutal. Yeah. Ashland is really, really beast mode. We'll be getting it and showing you guys everything once we review all the units. We do also have the Merworm. The Merworm is one of my favorite new monsters because it looks like Wookiee. It's an anti-large fighter with decent armor. So the Merworm basically is a beast. It regenerates, I believe. Yes, so we have regeneration under the Merworm. It has the Abyssal Cloak ability, which is ongoing. So basically it and anybody within a 15-meter radius gets missile block chance. It lowers enemy leadership. It causes terror, and it has built-in missile resist as well. So the Merworm is extremely Giga Chad. And there's also an ROR version of him as well, which is going to be Silac the One-Eye. So Silac One-Eye has an AoE aura called the Enfeebling Cold, where he lowers melee attack, charge speed, and a couple other things. And he looks way cooler. He legit actually has one eye too. So he's really leaning into it. So, all right. So that is the High Elf roster. We've gone over all the new units, and now we're going to be going over to Norsca. If I had to say, Norsca probably got the most goodies in terms of like being. I mean, I don't know. High Elves got a lot of good shit too. It's honestly. Check if Coast have it too. Let me check. The Coast should have an undead version. That would be fun. Coast needs a little bit of milk. Coast does not have the Merworm. No, they don't have it. No Merworm for Coast. Did I miss a unit? What the hell did I miss? Oh, we got Wookiee. We got the Sea Elemental. We got the Oceanid. What did I miss, Commander? We got all these. We went over the chariots. We went over all the archers and the infantry. Does the Bolt Thrower have more units? So the Lothern Skycutter Bolt Thrower is the same amount of models as the regular one. And the High Elf Bolt Thrower has 4 models, it looks like. ROR Melee? No, we went over the ROR Melee unit. We talked about him. Yeah, we talked about him like 4 or 5 minutes ago. This is the ROR Ships Company. No. The ROR Ships Company is here. Okay, so let's do this. 1 sec there, and we are going to do this. All right. So now we're going to be moving over to the next roster here. So we're going to take a look at Norsca. Now Norsca, we're going to start with the good stuff. We have Sail the Faithless. This guy is going to be extremely meta. He's very, very, very strong. Now, let me explain why. he is a caster character who has the mount options of a warhorse, a chariot, or a mammoth. You know, the mammoth is the way to play him, in my opinion. He has Windblast, Enfeebling Foe, Pendulum, Occam's Mind Razor, Chain Lightning, and Uran's Thunderbolt. Those are going to be all the goodies right there. On top of that, he has the Roiling Skies, Smoke and Mirror, so he's got the 2 lore passives, which is cute. But his lore passive is unique. It's actually very fun. I don't know if it's going to be super good, but it's cool. He's got the Backstabbing Sorcery, so every time he casts a spell, enemy heroes take a little bit of damage. So, yeah, casting is a spellcaster, unit is a lord or hero. So he kind of does like progressive small damage to all enemy lords and heroes on the map. So if there's like a lord getting away with a little bit of HP, you know, it might not be terrible for finishing them off. Granted, it's really not a lot of damage, but it's fun nonetheless. He has Fight or Die and Nightmaw. Nightmaw is like Seafang. If you guys remember Wulfric and Seafang, you cast this spell and it goes down the pipe and basically just blasts everything in range. It's pretty okay. But this is the most broken thing he has. The Viper Staff is cool. It basically just gives him stats when you cast spells. But Shalkane's Teeth is really cracked. This is like Hand of the Gods from Krokar. So you get Hand of the Gods from Shalkane's Teeth. You get 2 charges of it, I think. And it can like 2-shot squishy lords. It's really, really, really brutal. No, we looked at the ROR Swordmasters. We did. If you rewind back, you'll see them. Yeah, so he's a really cool dynamic caster. He's got Seafang, and he does have an insanely good sniping spell. So he has everything. He's good against infantry. He's good against heroes. Sail the Faithless is going to be one of the meta choices, in my opinion. Now, you do also have that ability works if enemies cast, not if Sail cast. Oh, interesting. Enabled if casting? Which one are you talking about? Enemy unit debilitated. Yeah, it recharges if enemy unit is debilitated within range, but it starts available. You're able to use it right out of the way. Yeah. Backstabbing Sorcery effects in range, casting. Oh, okay. Sorry, I read this wrong. Oh, wow. Backstabbing Sorcery. Okay, let me, correction, guys. Mulligan. So, enemy units. Enemy characters and heroes, when they cast spells, they take damage. Oh, so if somebody's, like, spamming. Okay, it's interesting. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. I just got into this yesterday, so I'm still a little bit newbie on some of this stuff, so thank you. Okay, so we have the Great Shaman Sorcerer. This is honestly huge for Norsca. Being able to bring like a cheap legendary caster lord is so freaking good. Wulfric does not have AP, still going to be a joke. But we do have a Shaman Sorcerer, lore of fire, death, and metal. So you're going to be seeing a lot of neckbeardy sweats using Final Transmutation only and just bringing him like this. You're going to see a lot of this in tournaments, like 200 gold Final Transmutation spammer, 100%. But nonetheless, he's got Offering to the Gods. So let's read this. I've never used it. So phase 1, it looks like he takes a lot of damage. And then afterwards, he gets a damage buff. It lasts for 43 seconds. It affects allies in range. And entity size is small unit and is not a lord or hero. Okay. So we can only use this on a small unit. So basically, you could apply this on a Norscan Marauder or a Berserker and make them take like, you know, I don't know, a tenth of their HP in damage. Maybe a little bit more depending on the unit. And you can buff them. Okay, that's kind of a fun flavor one. I don't know if it's actually going to be good. But you could, oh, you know where this might, it'll probably just break a Hound unit. You could use this on, but it has to be used on small units. It can't be used on like Skinwolves or Famir or things like that. It can only be used on the Marauders. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say, but it's fun nonetheless. So we have Power Stone, we got Power Familiar, which you can use to get Spell Mastery. Ooh, that's really good. Using this and then casting Final Transmutation isn't bad. And Warrior Familiar, so we can use this to get a stat line buff as well. Okay. Not too shabby. So now we're going to head over to the heroes of Norsca. We have the Famir Noble. So the Noble, Nightmaw is a summon. Yeah, he's a summon. You could use it on Beasts of Tashnar, but I'm concerned it would break them. Like if you used it on Beasts, yeah, Brutes of the Hound, sure. Beasts of Tashnar, though, the problem is they're going to get killed by it potentially or routed. Yeah, we got all day, man. We're going to be here for a while just taking a look at all these goodies. So just fasten your seatbelts and get ready to go. Okay. Let's do this. I'll install that driver instead, not his update. Okay. Thank you, Max Benjam. I see your message. I'll try that later on today. Okay, so we have the Famir Noble. He's a generalist armor-piercing unit. Armor Sundering. He does have the Shrouding Miss, so he gives a aura of missile-resistant melee defense. Foe Seeker and favored by the Matriarch, so this one is an AoE buff, and he can only use it if he's above 50% HP. And Skin Hidden Plates. Okay, so he can come in with armor and cause terror. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It does add leadership as well, correct? Yes, the other ability we were looking at, the Favor of the Dark Gods. Yeah, it adds leadership, I guess, right? Does it? Yeah, 16 leadership. But still, taking that much burst damage on a Hound unit, we'll have to try it out. We'll have to try it out. But the Matriarch is just a simple Unga Bunga combat character. Or the Famir Noble, excuse me. Did Wolfric get any changes to Seafang? Let me see. That looks similar to me. Yeah, how many charges does he get? He gets 3 charges, yeah. Alright. So next up we have the Bale Fiend, which does he have anything new? I don't think so. Shadows looks normal. And now we have the werewolf character, or a bear, excuse me, he's a bear. This guy is Beorg Bearstruck. He has Guardian, he has Thrill of Battle. So the longer he's in battle, the more melee defense he gets. He has Warcry, which gives melee defense, melee attack, and leadership to him and nearby units. And, oh, is it, okay, enabled if unit is charging. Oh, interesting. So he has to be charging for it, or affects allies in range and enabled if the unit is charging. All right, a little bit of a buff spell there with some conditions. It's fun. And then he has a Potion of Toughness, which is always amazing. So he can drink this to get a little bit of healing. And Bear Fang Talisman. So he can activate this for some ward save. He's pretty expensive. I don't know how you would bring him. Probably like this. Like if you're going to bring him. He is an anti-large fighter. So and with 90 armor and healing, I mean, he's pretty beast mode, actually. 90 armor, 80 leadership, really good stats. Anti-large, fast, with healing as well as a ward save. Yeah, we're going to experiment with everything today, guys, so don't worry. We're going to go, like, once we review all the rosters. Yeah, it's kind of like a interesting piece there. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next... yeah, and he has passive regen too, right? Yeah, he's got regen. Yep, we got regen on this bad boy. Very cool. Very cool. Honestly, he might be good. Beorg Bearstruck is healing. He's got 2 healing items. Potion, I mean, homie might have some applications. He might. All right, well... So taking a look, we are going to go down to Norsca Infantry. Now, Norsca has 3 new infantry units. You have the Marauder Bearmen. Right? So the Marauder Bearmen are basic Marauders with 2,000 more HP, give or take. So they have 11,600, so 2,300 more HP. And they have Immune to Psychology. That's basically what you're getting. His passive buffs are constant. Oh, are they? Let me look. So Beorg Bearstruck. Warcry is, the duration is 18 seconds, effect range. The cooldown is 45 seconds, so it looks like there are some conditions. But yeah, this stuff is passive, obviously. He's a Guardian Druid, full-on tank. Yeah, pretty damn cool. So we got the Marauder Bearmen, and then we have Marauder Bearmen with great weapons, which have the Immune to Psychology and more HP. So you basically are just getting like some mid-tier infantry that are immune to Psychology, which honestly isn't bad. Marauders with ITP and much more HP. And they do have more armor too, right? So baseline Marauders have 15, these guys have 45. Pretty badass, honestly. And then you do have the ROR, the Worshippers of the Crow. These are a Nurgle-marked Marauder Great Weapon. They do poison, they have armor piercing, they have Swarm of Flies, so they lower melee attack by 5, and they have Mark of Nurgle and poison. So pretty damn cool to mix these into your ranks, just to get the aura even. If you're playing like a blob build, getting the Swarm of Flies, I don't think that's bad. All right. The second to last hero choice. This is Harambe. This is Silent Engfingrim. This hero's been around forever. Yeah. Yeah, so nothing new there. So we have the Kurgan Horseman. It's not 5 a.m. It's 7:30 in the morning for me right now. Not too bad. All right, so we got the Kurgan Horseman. A Kurgan Horseman, great weapon and dual weapon. These guys are interesting. I think in Domination they're going to be very, very good because they have 90 frickin' speed and they hit like trucks. But they are glass cannons. Like they have 15 armor and relatively mediocre melee defense. The Kurgan Horsemen, if you engage them versus like an Illyrian Reaver or a Glade Rider, they might win, but it's going to be like not a cost-effective trade for you. Because they are very squishy, but yeah, they have Rage and they have Vanguard deployment and Devastating Flanker as well. So pretty damn sick. And Frenzy to boot. I think the Kurgan Horsemen are going to be incredibly meta. Incredibly meta. They're a glass cannon, but with good micro and good control. They give Norsca something that's really nice. I mean, God, poor Skaven are going to get dicked even worse by these things. It's going to be brutal. I mean, yeah, but they are expensive and they're glass cannons. So there's a little bit of risk and reward with these. Yeah, they're very much an Anticity unit, correct. All right. Yeah, the Kurgan Horsemen are one of my favorite units. They're super, super cool. Their rage mechanic, basically, the longer they fight in combat, the more stats they get. Yeah, Norsca is definitely starting to feel more unique. Forsaken got horses, yeah, except Forsaken have armor, so it's a bit different. We do have the ROR Marauder Horsemen, which I think are pretty badass, actually, because they give battle songs. So nearby allies, if there's an enemy within range of these guys, it gives an aura to your boys that gives them 8 leadership and makes them cause fear. So you could like run your Riders of the Mighty Serpent with your Kurgan Horsemen and give them leadership and give them fear. Kind of a cool combo, right? And you can also use these guys just to skirmish with your regular horsemen, but the battle songs ability is, I just love the flavor of it. It's so fun. I've always wanted to start a Norscan army in tabletop, but I'm drowning in minis right now. I got to finish my pile of shame. I'm working through it. All right, so now we're going down to the Norscan monsters. We have one of the weirdest monsters in the entire game. The frickin' Dreadmaw. This shit is so weird. It starts it cannot move. It starts underground. It tunnels, it pops up, it does AoE damage, and attacks while it's above ground. And you can't move it. You have to re-tunnel it and go somewhere else. Now, your opponent cannot see it until it's close to their army. So it basically has stock. But if you're within their army range, they'll see it moving underground. They can like see the ripples in the earth, and you can see its banner when it gets close to you. But the Dreadmaw is one of the biggest question marks for me. I don't know how crazy it's going to be. Yeah, I did miss the ROR Chariot. Let me go back to that. I have no idea. And you can redeploy it as well. So it has 2 ways to move around. The regular tunneling, and then it has a deep tunneling ability, which I don't know if it's showing right here. Yeah, underground, immune to flanking, Vanguard, causes terror as well. Popping these up on your opponent's archer line is going to be really, really strong, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we did miss this Chariot, which is the Arwar Followers of the Great Eagle. Ooh, they have Warp Flame. That's cool. Rage, and yeah, there's just decent little chariots. Cool. It's kind of like the Slaanesh ones, but they just have Warp Flame and magic and fire damage. Dude, this unit is wild, man. It's wild. The Great Worm, yeah. I have no idea if it's going to be good or bad. In my games, it hasn't done a ton of damage, but it has been disruptive. We did go over all the new infantry already. If you want to rewind back, you can rewind on YouTube as well. Okay, guys. So next up, we are going to go to the Chimera. Chimeras are cool. They're basically like mini dragons. So they have 6,300 HP. They have a breath attack like a dragon, and they hit incredibly hard. Poison, fire, and magic damage. I think Chimeras are actually very decent. 80 armor, high leadership, good speed, really good combat stats. You're basically getting a small dragon with these guys. Shai-Hulud, yes. Okay, so that's the Chimera. Now we're going to go to some of my favorite units, the Ettins. So if you guys want to see power creep, it's right here. So you have a giant and an Ettin, okay? So the giant has 2,000 less HP than the Ettin, but you are getting more... you are getting a little bit more weapon strength on the giant. But the Ettin has the same missile resist, okay? And when the Ettin drops below 50% HP, it starts passively healing. It's a healing giant. It's so good. And then when he's above, well, compared to a regular giant. I don't know if they're going to be meta or anything, but compared to a regular giant, they're way better. And when he's above 50% HP, he gets a speed bonus, he gets Glorious Charge, and he gets Unyielding Assault as well. And this thing has Vanguard deployment. You get a fast Vanguard giant because its speed is going to be augmented by 15%. So this thing is going to be like almost 50 movement speed. It has Vanguard deployment, and it heals when it's low. This is like what giants wish they were. Giants should straight up just get changed or get a cost reduction because it is so much better than a regular giant. Like you can't even compare them. Yeah, Glorious Charge and Unyielding. Yeah, an actually viable giant. All right, guys. On top of that, we come down here and we do have the next. Now, this is my favorite unit that Norsca has gotten, okay? My favorite unit. It is the Cursed Ettin. So this is an Ettin, but you'll notice it's not as good at combat. It has less HP and it has less weapon strength. But this one is a wizard. Magic damage, and it has 1 charge of Enfeebling Foe, 2 charges of Flock of Dooms, and 2 charges of Doom and Darkness. Very, very badass. Now, on top of that, this thing, it has a different effect. So when this Ettin is below 50%, it actually heals, but it gives you power recharge and generates reserves as well. So as this thing is below 50% HP, it's going to be generating power reserves for you. So you're going to be getting passive healing on this thing. It's really, really fun. Yeah. So this is the rune caller. Yeah, you can bring 2 of them if you. And that's freaking 4 flock of dooms right there, man. It's 4 flock of dooms. And yeah, its other ability is the betrayer. So when it's above 50% HP, it negates magic damage of nearby enemies and lowers spell mastery too. Yeah, so it's but really the lower tier 1 is what you want. It's basically Cho'Gall from Warcraft. Gracious, thank you for resubscribing, man. I appreciate you, boss. All right. So as we continue going, let's look around here. We do see, yeah, the Etten, and oh, this thing freaking rules. This is the freaking Blood Shriek Chimera. Okay, this is a Chimera ROR, but it has this ability which is the flavor is so good. It's called Perfect Predator. So essentially, when this guy is, you can pull him out of combat, fly him around, and then you can activate this ability if he's landed on the ground and it heals him. So he gets a huge heal, but he has to be out of combat and you have to move away, land on the ground, and use the Perfect Predator ability. And the Chimera is going to be basically healing itself. It's so freaking fun. We're going to get to Warriors of Chaos and Beastmen too, don't worry. All right. Awesome beast. Awesome beast. Okay, so that's Norsca. We're going to be doing like 10 battle replays today. Yeah, I have 10 replays to show you guys. Norsca is going to be top tier 100%. Yes, they're going to be S tier. Norsca is going to be the strongest of the whole bunch. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, taking a look here at this goodness here, we have Slaanesh. Now, we're going to start with the strongest, unit on Slaanesh, one of the strongest ones in my opinion, which is the Mask. So the Mask of Slaanesh is a combat character, okay? And it has Slippery, Heroic Killing Blow, but it has these various dances. So if you guys have played Festus, it's the exact same thing. She switches between various dances. So you have the Dance of Dreaming. Basically, the Mask of Slaanesh is a 70 movement speed Mortis engine. All right? 70 movement speed Mortis engine. Let me repeat that. And it lowers your leadership. All right. So this thing has 70 movement speed. It's a Mortis engine. Okay? It's so brutal. Thankfully, it's really squishy. It dies very quickly. But, I mean, man. That's the Dance of the Dreaming. 70 movement speed Mortis engine. Yeah. Yeah, no, I already have a Jim Carrey thumbnail ready for this one. Okay? Next up, we have the Chanson of Caging. So this is her other dance, which gives speed as well as missile resistance and lowers enemy speed and enemy vigor. You can switch between these. And then your last dance right here is a melee attack buff. It's really simple. So you have 3 stances that you can choose from. Most players will probably just go for the Mortis engine, honestly, and maybe the speed one to try and get away. But this is also what makes this character really, really strong, is the Staff of Masks. So this is pretty good. It's a huge healing ability. So it can heal itself and damage an enemy. So you have 2 charges of this. You click on an enemy unit, you damage them and lower their vigor, and it heals the mask. So it's going to be healing the mask for about 10% of its HP, a little bit over that, like 12% give or take. So, yeah, the Mask of Slaanesh is freaking awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay? So next up we have the, and I think that's it. I don't think we missed anything yet. We have the Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh. This guy's awesome. He can ride the new Demonic Steed and has some cool stuff. So you have Shadows, Slaanesh Magic, Blissful Rapture, Infernal Puppet. So it increased the miscast chance of enemies on the map. And then he does have the Black Tongue as well. This is a really cool item. I don't know how good it's going to be, but you can silence people. So basically you can affect enemies in range and you can silence them. So you can just slap it on a Mortis engine, not a Mortis engine, well, whatever you want to shut down their abilities in spellcasting. So it's pretty. He's a cool character, and he's got some good mount options, and yeah, gives Slaanesh some options, which is great. All right, so next up we have T'Challa, the Denied One. Now, T'Challa I don't think is as good as the Mask, but is a better combat character. The Mask has 480, and T'Challa just has better stats, is tankier with almost 7,000 HP, so more similar to a Greater Demon. But you have the Whirlwind of Pleasure. This ability is actually quite good. It has 100% armor piercing, so if you put T'Challa in the middle of an infantry unit and then use this, it'll pretty much KO the infantry unit. It's very, very good. Then you have the Praise of Slaanesh, which is the other dance. This one gives T'Challa it gives, let's see, melee defense and missile block chance. Kind of cool, but lowers the melee attack by 50%, which honestly isn't that big of a deal. It puts you down to 35, so you can use that. I know, they did 69 on purpose. They did 69 on purpose. And then you have the Dagger Dance, which gives you armor and ward save at the cost of some of your offensive output. So no like OP Mortis engine here or anything, right? You know, none of that goodness. Oh, they on the early access build, they accidentally took away our Realms of Chaos stuff. So like, I don't have access to Inkari and a couple other things. Yeah, it's just not a huge deal, like the demon stuff. Okay, then you have the Elixir of Damnation. This is really fun. I don't know how good it's going to be, but you can use the Elixir of Damnation on T'Challa, and basically when it applies a contact effect that when T'Challa hits you, it lowers your melee attack by 100%, puts you to 0. It removes terror, removes immune psychology, and removes fear. How sick is that? So if you're fighting against like a Dread Saurian or like, or let's say a big monster, you can basically get rid of its melee attack. You can remove terror, remove immune psychology, and remove fear, and you can potentially terror out huge, scary monsters. It's really, really fun. Yeah. So T'Challa is pretty good. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I did dominate a game with T'Challa one game. So, yeah, it's very fun. All right, guys. So next up, we have the other new stuff. We have the Druchii Anointed. So the Druchii Anointed is a Dark Elf support character. It has Lash of Slaanesh, Hysterical Frenzy, and Soul Stealer. One charge of those two and 2 of the Lash. It has the Cold One and the Demonic Steed. And yeah, I don't know what place it's going to have. If you put it on, yeah, it's anti-infantry on all clauses here. But it has Murderous Mastery and Immune to Psychology, Devastating Flanker, Fizz Res, Missile Resistance, and it's just kind of a support caster character. So on top of that, we do have the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh. Has access to a Chaos Steed, a Demonic Steed, which is really good because it gives it 100 speed, by the way. Yeah. And then also we have the Chaos Chariot over here. Glamour of Slaanesh has an AoE melee attack aura debuff and the Rock of Inevitability, which is the same item that Sartorial the Everwatcher has. So it's, yeah, he's all right. I don't think he's as good as like the Nurgle one, but maybe he is actually. We'll have to see. Still has 110 armor, so yeah. Now we have the named hero. So here's the named hero. It's going to be Strykar. This guy has Glorious Slaughter, so he gets, enemy unit routing or broken within range. He gets speed, charge bonus, and melee attack. His other unique ability is Demonic Whispers. So you activate this, and I believe it gives an allied unit with Mark of Slaanesh. Yeah, it gives them leadership, and it makes them cause fear and terror. Very neat. Chaos Armor is a good ability. So basically, he's perpetually going to be getting a melee damage reflection of 28, which is actually not bad. And then we do have him getting missile block chance from that. So, ooh, wow. Okay, so he has 55 missile block chance, and then he has the frickin' Chaos Armor, which gives him another 20 missile block chance. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Steercar? Steercar, is that how you say it? Steercar? Thank you. Steercar, okay. Signs of Depravity. So this is effects intensity by each unit in range with leadership wavering or lower. Okay, so he gives like an aura of speed and leadership and takes away enemy speed and leadership. Oh, wow. Look at that. We have to see how good this is. Oh, my God. Is this going to be broken against Skaven? Because if you can get that aura up to negative 16 leadership against the rats, he's running around as a freaking like 100 movement speed or 75 movement speed aura of negative 16 leadership. Dude. Oh, that's cool as shit. I didn't actually notice that. That's why it's good to read through all this with you guys. Okay, and he has Sonic Boom as well. Now, Sonic Boom... Oh, I read it wrong. Damn it. It's speed and melee defense. I saw the leadership at the top and I got so excited. Oh, I got so excited. I was like, am I going to have just a huge leadership bomb stick running around? No, guys, damn it. Why to ruin all the fun? You guys should have just let me believe that, so I would be excited. But sadly, we have been blue-balled. I know it's not leadership. Damn shame. Okay, Sonic Boom is next. This is a AoE explosion that does very little damage but knocks everybody back. So it's like if he's surrounded, you can help him escape. Demonic Steed and, Steed of Slaanesh. Okay, guys, let's keep moving, yeah? We're going to go into the Slangor. So Slangors are, a great unit. Yeah, negative 16 MD isn't bad at all. Slangors are Vanguard, bonus versus infantry. They have freaking 50 movement speed. Oh my god. Primal Fury, and Pleasure Through Pain. So as they take damage, they get faster, and they get more charge bonus and more melee attack. Vanguard deployment, Hide Force, Immune Psychology, Mark of Slaanesh, you know. They're going to be amazing. Every Slaanesh player is going to be spamming them. Yeah. That's basically it. Aside from this, we do have the new Dark Elf units. So these guys, I think, kind of suck. These are the Devotees of Slaanesh. They're just like a shade without a bow, basically. You pay $9.75. And look at this. Look at the stat line comparison. So you get a little bit of a stat increase, but like the Slangor is just straight up better than the Devotee. The Slangor has 2,000 more HP than this thing and is barely worse. It's barely worse, in my opinion. But the Devotees of Slaanesh, they have Immune to Psychology, Physical Resist. They have Murderous Euphoria. So as they fight in combat, they do get a stat line buff, kind of like Norsca and Berserkers, but I still think that these things aren't very good. Can Wrathy get them? We're going to find out. We'll answer all your questions today. That's what we're here to do. Okay. Now, this is what's really fun to me. Slaanesh can bring freaking archers? You can bring Devotees of Slaanesh crossbows. So these are shades. Slaanesh basically gets a shade unit. Yeah, it's just like a Dark Shard with good melee stats. Now, I don't think that the Devotees of Slaanesh crossbows are cost-effective per se, but surprising one of your opponents with these is going to be really, really funny. Like, rolling up on somebody with like a Dark Elf gun line or a bow line with Slaanesh is going to be really, really weird. So Slaanesh has a ranged crossbow unit, right? Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's really fun. I've used them in a lot of games. So we have the ROR Slangor too, right? Did I miss that thing? Is there an ROR Slangor? I don't think there is. Did I miss it? No, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we got all these guys. Yeah, they don't have stock. They're not nearly as good as the Dark Elf versions, right? But they're still cool that you have them. Okay, so next up we do have the Heralds of Excess. I think those already existed, right? I see that shows how much I play Slaanesh. Oh no, this is a regular Chaos Chariot, isn't it? Okay, no. Yeah, it's not the Sibilant Slaughtercade. So these are the ROR Secret Chariots. I think they were already in the game. I can't remember, but yeah, not very exciting. Just a fancy chariot with perfect vigor. And what else do we have? Yes, we have they get the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. They get the Slaanesh ROR Marauder Horsemen, which is cool. Slangors and Chaos Warriors. No, that's the Princes of Perfection. This is not a Slangor. Yeah. Okay. So we have the Boob Snakes. We have the Pleasure Seekers. So Pleasure Seekers are basically just if you look at a Seeker of Slaanesh, they have 40 weapon strength. This is the next evolution. This is like a 60 weapon strength, slightly more durable version. They have armor, they have missile block chance, which Seekers don't have. They have huge armor piercing, and they have the Feasting on Fear ability. So these guys are really neat because they can heal if they're chasing a unit down. So basically, you get the Pleasure Seekers, you run down a chaff unit, and you get to heal a monstrous, cab unit, which is pretty cool. Vanguard, Devastating Flanker, and all sorts of good stuff. Yes, the Trouser Snake is here. All right. Yeah, I think they're really fun. I think they're really fun. All right, so now we're going to go down to the new Beast of Slaanesh. Slaanesh got Wrathmongers. So you have the Champions of Slaanesh. Champions of Slaanesh are a monstrous version of Wrathmonger, so they're not infantry-sized, but they mess shit up. These are the fastest I think I've ever seen an infantry unit die is from these guys. So magic damage, armor piercing, anti-infantry of 20, devastating flanker, physical resistance, pretty badass. But now there is an ROR version of this thing, and it's called the Pleasure Guard. The ROR version is always the way to go. Don't even mess around with the regular one. The ROR version is unbreakable. Okay, these ones are not, but this unit is unbreakable, and it will kill shit so quickly, and also does have unyielding assault as well. So these are your Slaanesh Wrathmongers that are much squishier than Wrathmongers, but much killier in like a straight up grinding situation against infantry, specifically. They're not as good against like bigger targets, like Wrathmongers are more of a generalist, but yeah, these guys are no joke. All right, so on top of that, we're looking at Slaanesh. We do see their new, they have a Wyvern unit, basically, which is called the Praeton. So the Praeton is an anti-large manticore, basically, Wyvern beast. It does have an ability to reflect damage back at the cost of melee defense, and it has endless malice as well. So enemies within unit routing within range, it gets a buff. Devastating flanker causes terror as well. And then they have the ROR version, which I'm looking here, it might just have better stats. 45% missile resist, 45% missile resist, These monsters are actually legit pretty good. Anti-large. Yeah. I have a replay of them today, so we'll show these guys. But, yeah. We looked at everything. All the new stuff we've reviewed. Now, let's look at the Beastmen. So, Beastmen got access to Slangors, and they also got access to the Praetons and the Chimera from Norsca. So, Beastmen are eating pretty well. They get the Praeton, they get the Chimera. Awesome deal for Beastmen. Beastmen are just like the dumpster rat, like getting all the scraps behind the DLC factions, you know? Yeah. The Arwar can hide, is that what it is? Let me see, did I miss stock somewhere? Devastating can fly. Okay. Endless Malice. Looking at Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos also eating well too. So for Warriors of Chaos, you have access to a bunch of the new stuff. You get access to the werewolf guy, the bear wolf, yes. You get Beorg Bearstruck, you get Stykar, and then you also get the... Now, this is something I think should be changed. I don't think Warriors of Chaos should get access to the Bearmen. That's such a Norscan identity unit. I don't think that Warriors of Chaos should get these Norscan Bearmen. It seems a little bit weird to me. Like, yeah, it's strange. But they do get them as of now. On top of that, you get access to some monsters. Check this shit out. Warriors of Chaos get the Dreadmaw! Oh, the Forbidden Double Dreadmaw Warriors of Chaos build. Yeah, buddy. Hey, Dante, what's cracking, homie? All right. So Warriors of Chaos get the Dreadmaw. Oh, talk dirty. Basically getting a fat DLC. They get the Chimera. You get the Champion of Slaanesh as well. I mean, dude, how awesome is this? You get the Champions of Slaanesh. So Warriors of Chaos getting a Monsters Wrathmonger unit. Okay. Chimeras and freaking Dreadmaws to boot. Chef's kiss. It's great, dude. Yeah. Warriors of Chaos, dude, they're feasting well. Yeah, they're feasting very well. Lots of... I mean, Walk, I love it. Shai Halud, but ice. Yes, they get Shai Halud. The maker gives. It's all Warriors of Chaos, always has been, right? I don't know if there's anything else we need to look at before we jump into some battles. I think you guys are ready for some high octane action, yeah? Greenskins, I don't think got anything. No, they didn't get any scraps to my knowledge. All right, so let me do some unit testing with you guys first. We're going to keep blue balling the battles a little bit longer, and we'll show you guys how some of these abilities work. So let's load in. And, no, but I think we should go just straight into battles. Do you guys want battles right now? Or do you want me to go through, like, every ability and show you everything? We could, you know what? Let's show you the Lore of Mists first, and then we'll go in and do a battle after that, yeah? So Lore of Mists will give you guys a Dark Elves. Oh, that's right. Dark Elves got, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Did Marathi get changed? Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're going to do Lore of Mist Showcase, and then we're going to get in and do it to it, okay? So we're going to get you. That's fine, and we can just get these guys to hold it down here. All right, we can get Chad Ryan here, too. He can just kind of fly around on his bird and help out. Okay, so that looks fine, and let's load in here. Skycutters are really good, honestly. I don't know, maybe some jank, but they're really, really good. Yeah, the Skycutter, let the Skycutter feast. Let the boy watch, you know. Let the boy watch what's being consecrated here this day. All right, let's do that. Perfect, perfect. Okay, team. So, here is the Mist Mage. So we're just going to hide all these guys back here. And the Mist Mage is going to pop it like it's hot. So, can we look at the lore passive thing, the unit spell browser? Spells and the Lore of Mists. Okay. So here's the Lore of Mists. You have Lathril Shroud. This is the best one of my ability. When you overcast it, it basically gives you a huge heal. It gives you like a regrowth for 9 Winds Magic almost, right? So you're getting, let's see. So that's going to be like a 12% heal. Really, really strong. Then you have Bathland Spite, which is a Spirit Leech effect. And if you overcast it, it adds effects on duration and speed reduction. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it lasts longer and it slows them down even more. Awesome, awesome. Then we have Walk Between Worlds. Speed, Fizzres, and Strider. And then it increases the duration when you do that. Flensing Har. Armor and Missile Block Chance. Okay. Lore of the Spa. Effects increases duration. Writhing Mists, it extends the effect duration of the missile block chance and debuffing their stats longer as well. And then you have Mistress of the Deeps, which can't be overcasted. Okay. So there's a couple things we'll load in and mess with here real quick, okay? So just fun things we've noticed overall. So let's get in here. And we can go ahead and summon some of the Oceanids, or we could try and see what kind of damage this sniping spell does. So we're going to do the Mathlon Spite on the Orc Lord and see what that looks like. So it's basically like a Spirit Leech effect. Yeah, it's basically like a little bit of a Spirit Leech. Okay. Cool. And then, yeah, we've looked at the spells here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump out, and we're going to load in with the fun stuff. I'm just going to load in with a really funky thing here. All right, you guys ready for Sea Lord here and Skycutter Chariots? This is what I've been wanting to play around with here. Oh, yes. Yes, good, Anakin, good. All right. Skycutters are really good. I'm going to show you a battle with them right after we load in and try this. Is it true that Dreadmaws can only route once they've... Yeah, Dreadmaws are incredibly hard to break. In none of our games, I think they... Not sure if they broke, but... Yes. Okay, so we're going to put you guys back here. And we're going to put the Sea Lord right there. Okay. And they're coming. And we're going to go do the Master of the Mist here. Oh my god, look at the range! 360 range, Sisters of Avalord. Oh my god, I love that. That's the most fun shit in the DLC. That's the most fun shit. Oh, that's so cool. It's really short range, but god damn, that is awesome. 360 range. Oh, I love that so much. That's so freaking fun. All right. So, the Forbidden Tech. That really is the Forbidden Tech, guys. That's so fun. Oh my god. Just 360 range. Yeah. All right. So we got the High Elves there. What else do we want to look at real quick before we load in? We're going to look at everything today in battles, and anything we miss, we're going to look into as well. Yeah, so that's pretty freaking fun. And then Norsca. Yeah, Norsca, I wanted to show you the sniping spell. So check this shit out. So, like, if your opponent is using the mask against you and you want to roll in with Sail of the Faithless, okay, we're going to show you what this is capable of. This is the other thing, and we'll get a Dreadmaw too. And we can just put, like, some archer units and some infantry or something. Okay. I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. Turning sisters into... Dude, imagine your opponent rolling up with, like, a bolt thrower, and then your sister's just like, I'm just going to counter your artillery from halfway across the map, okay? So, Dreadmaws, by the way, have Vanguard deployment, so you can just deploy your opponent's shit. Now, this ability against low armor units, this is the Teeth ability, it's really broken. It's really broken. So you're going to see the Mask of Slaanesh get brought to, like, 0 HP here. Ready? Oh, here comes. Oh. Now, it against unarmored units is where it really shines. The Dreadmaws, you pop them up, okay? So check it out. And then you can go right here, and I'm going to wait for them to get still. But yeah, that basically just ended their careers. And here comes the Dreadmaw. Dun 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 dun. I love it so much. Okay, so now we're going to pop this bad boy up. Sail's going to do this, and yeah, here he comes. Ready? Dreadmaw! All right, the Dreadmaw pops up, and there it goes. All right, so you can see it does damage when it pops up there, and now it's going to start attacking as well. So, you know, if anybody's near it, it does its attack animations, and it does good damage. It's just the tricky part is getting it onto its target. Now, check this shit out. So we're going to pop the Dreadmaw here, and this Dreadmaw is going to pop up. Sail's going to continue bullying this Lord. Here comes his Wind Spell. The Wind Spell does good damage. Sail is going to be very, very good. Yep, it just goes through. It's like Wolfrig's boat, basically. Yeah, rips through those guys. But the Dreadmaw's there, and now this is my favorite part of the Dreadmaw. They can either tunnel normally or use their long-term cooldown called Deep Tunneling, where they can teleport. So he's going to go underground, and then he's going to pop up. Oh, Dreadmaw, Shai-Hulud. It's the coolest thing in the game, dude. They are ranged. They have ranged attacks and melee attacks. So, but look at the Mask actually beating up Sail. I mean, Sail is not a combat character. The Mask is insanely good at fighting. But those are the Dreadmaws. So, yeah, they're really, really fun, dude. Really, really fun. All right, so now let's, so we showed you Sail, we showed you some of the core stuff here. Anything on Slaanesh we wanted to look at real quick before we battle? I don't think so. I think we can just load it in battle, so give me 1 second. And the big ones travel deep, they do. Okay, I'm trying to think of a really, really fun battle to show you first. Okay, we can do this one. I know what you dirty dogs want. I know what the boy wants, and we're gonna give it, okay? Oh, where's that? Is it here? Oh, yes. All right, guys. Here we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be High Elves versus Slaanesh. The Mer Wookiee is here. I know it's what you guys wanted. I know it's what you guys wanted. The Mer Wookiee. All right, so breaking down my build, I have 2 Lothern Skycutters. The idea against Slaanesh is dominate the skies. Since Skycutters are flying chariots, they actually wreck Furies pretty well. So using 2 Skycutters as well as a Flamespire Phoenix to control the skies and control the skirmish here. On the ground, we do have the Ship's Company, so these are going to be the Arwar Infantry. And we do also have Phoenix Guard Arwars in the front and the Mer Wookiee. Oh, God, look how cool it is. It's my favorite monster in the game. It's my favorite. It looks just like my old dog Wookiee. I love it. So we have the Keepers of the Flame. We got Ship's Company, Spearmen, and we have Chad Ryan, Caradhran. And this guy is going to be awesome because he is going to be able to heal my Phoenix Guard units, which is going to be really, really fun. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the build here. And we got Teclis, and Teclis is going to be regrowthing the Wookiee. And, yeah, he's going to be on horseback. He has Flock of Doom and regrowth. So he's basically just there to heal the Wookiee. Now, for Dov's build, Dov is going to have Devoted Marauders. He's got Fiends of Slaanesh in the back. We do also see a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Slaanesh. And on the wings, he's going to use Pleasure Seekers. So he's got the Bubo Snakes here. He's got 2 of them. Pleasure Seekers against High Elves will be decent, honestly. They'll wreck like all your armor. So he's got 2 Pleasure Seekers, a bunch of Hellstriders, and then Marauder Horsemen on the wings as well. All right, guys. This is a Conquest game. I played pretty much all my early games against Dov, and he's a Conquest player, and he doesn't play Domination at all. So I figured it'd be more fair since I do play some Conquest. So I ended up playing mostly Conquest games. We will be doing Domination games, though, as soon as we can. So Skycutters are just flying around, and yeah, really good against demons. Just going to use them to do a little bit of anti-skirmishing. So I get them out of range of his horsemen. I turn around, and the Mer Wookiee is going to be moving in. So it's posturing, my Phoenix doing some bombardments on his Marauder Horseman right there, while the Skycutters are just going to keep shooting into the Marauder Horseman right here. Javelin's going to be setting up downtown right there and throwing into my poor Phoenix Guard. Flock of Doom is going to be the response from Teclis, dropping it like it's hot on these bad boys. And ladies and gentlemen, the battle continues to rage on as Slaanesh is going to be surrounding me with its Fiends, as well as its Pleasure Seekers, which are going to be lurking in the back. But you can see the counter-skirmishing. Right? Getting the Lothern Skycutters with their long-range bows in tandem with Flock of Doom, I'm really able to shut down the enemy skirmishing, which is going to free up the Mer Wookiee. And here he comes. The Mer Wookiee has arrived. Oh, yes. And the Mer Wookiee is an anti-large fighter. So he's going to be fighting against the Fiends and the various demon units here. And he has some of the coolest attack animations in the game. So you'll see him going down there as he does. Oh, look at the crocodile roll. So great. Now Teclis is going to be using a fiery convocation right here, which is going to roar up. Oh yes, give it to me. All the cool high elf magic. And there it goes, ripping through those bad boys. And not bad at all. The Devoted Marauders getting it, as Slaanesh is going to be collapsing on my army here and hitting pretty hard. His Pleasure Seekers do clash into the front line, but the Phoenix Guard are holding firm for Asuryan. Pleasure Seekers, though, I believe are getting a little bit of a healing from my Swordsman routing. So the Ship's Company routing has actually given the Pleasure Seekers a little bit of healing. Now, Silac One-Eye, though, still going very hard in the paint. Balance of power is very, very even here in this game. Caradhran here is helping fight in the front line. He's also an anti-large halberd specialist. And the Spearmen and the Phoenix Guard are going to be holding. Now, during all of this, I'm nailing his entire army of Flock of Doom. We do also have the Lothern Skycutters here, which are just sitting overhead and using their bows to shoot at the demons and the Pleasure Seekers. Landing them on the ground would be very, very tricky. I think it would be a bad idea at this point, considering he still has all his Pleasure Seekers and Hellstriders waiting in the wings. But the Mer Wookiee is really going hard in the paint. I mean, he is ripping apart these units. He's an anti-large specialist and Mer Wookiee. Oh, the tail whip! Dude, Wookiee's going! He's got, oh, this is a great one. Yeah, the body slam, dude. Oh, I love it. I could just watch these animations all freaking day. It's my favorite monster in the game. It's my favorite. The Mer Wookiee is great. But yeah, you can see he annihilates those Fiends of Slaanesh, and he has really good missile resist, and gives an aura to nearby units where they get missile block chance as well. So he continues to rage on here, breaking through these units while the Skycutters are flying overhead. Now, what's really rad about Skycutters is they're good in melee. So you can use them to charge in, and I charge into these guys, and I do get a little bit of an impact damage. You can see dropping a couple of them down and force the chariots away. So you can use them to deal with skirmishers, harass, and they're actually pretty good sustained fighters. They have decent combat stats and high armor as well. So the high health box is getting worn down. Pavane of Slaanesh activated on the Keepers of the Flame. Karadran here is going to be helping to continue buffing and using his healing spell, which we already did on the Keepers of the Flame. And the chariots do get back up in the sky. Wookiee going to be battling it out versus the Pleasure Seekers here. So he's going to be grumbling and just doing Wookiee things as he shambles around the battlefield. And now is engaged by the Pleasure Seekers, which is a little bit scary for him. But he does have passive healing and is going to be boinking down those Pleasure Seekers pretty effectively. Balance of power coming into the Heil favor. Phoenix Guard holding firm, and we have Techless, we have the Flamespire Phoenix, and Karadran here is doing great. These ROR halberds up to about 1,500 damage so far. Wookiee being isolated a little bit. Pleasure Seekers, look how hard they hit, by the way. Oh, the slow-mo! Let's go, Wookiee, dude! Oh, the MLG Wookiee body slam. I love it. It's so good. But yeah, the Silac One-Eye gets beaten up really badly by the Pleasure Seekers because they just hit so freaking hard. But he's going to get a regrowth in tandem with the passive healing, and Wookiee will not go quietly into the night. He's going to continue fighting here. I cannot lose him because if I do, it could definitely get Slaanesh back in the game here. Now, Dob is using a Slaanesh Lord on a Serpent Snake, I think. I'm pretty sure he has the Sorcerer Lord up on the Snake. So he's just kind of rolling around doing what he can. And Wookiee continues holding. Another Flock of Doom activated on the Pleasure Seekers as well as the Hellstriders over here. Wookiee getting the regrowth. And Wookiee also has Missile Block chance too. So he does have Missile Block, which is great. So all these Javelin units. Just using Skycutters basically just to blast his skirmishers and shut down his ranged. And in the late game, you can use them to clear up infantry or even early on if you want to. But yeah, he's doing it. So I lack the One-Eye, still going strong. And honestly, I'm getting a lot of Dread Saurian energy out of this guy. He's at 1,800 value. Honestly, a Dread Saurian would probably have like 3,000 value at this point. But Silac and Merworms in general are not like a generalist like a Dread Saurian. They're more of an anti-large specialist. Still good against infantry, but they have passive healing too, which is nice. Now, the Slaanesh Lord is hunting down Techless. Techless is on the run, popping the Potion of Koroi, but Wookiee is not going to let this go free here, as he does get a big splash right there. Boinks down the Chaos Lord, and will be applying that nice anti-large. Skycutter's sitting in the sky here, and as far as my army goes, I mean, it's very tattered. I have Karadran, I have Techless, and Silac the One-Eye, and I do also have the Lothern Skycutters here, which are just using their magic damage ammo to waste down the Slaanesh units, which are going to be very ideal targets for them. But we're definitely in okay shape. Flamespire Phoenix does get broken by the Hellstrider, so nice pick there by Dov. But really, at this point in the game, I don't think there's going to be anything left that's going to be capable of taking on Silac One-Eye. He's just going to be too Chadley. He's going to be feasting a little bit too hard here, and there he goes. Skycutter's on their way in, charging and doing some good damage. They look a little bit funky in melee, but they do get in. It's mainly just the Eagles attacking when they get into melee, from what I've noticed. Fiery Convocation going to be activated on these rallying Slaanesh units, so the Fury of Asaurian is here. You know what? I'm very, very happy for all of you High Elf fans. You guys really deserve this. Like, getting some cool, badass units. The High Elves have been neglected for so long, but getting access to, like, one of the coolest monsters in the entire game, which is actually viable, too, I think, especially in land battle, is great. So that's going to be victory for Lothern, victory for the High Elves, and let's take a look at the value. So Skycutter's 1,000 and 1,200 value, and that was just from shooting, really. A couple of charges, 2,500 of the Merworm. He's 3,000 for the record, but he tanked very well. Phoenix Guard, 1,800. Karadran, only 500, but he was more of a support healing piece and a late-game Mortis Engine if he got injured. And, yeah, it was a good team effort. Techless got 1,900 with Flock of Dooms. His Snake Cav got 1,500 and 1,100. Kind of got countered by Silac One-Eye a little bit, but overall, good times were had. So that is the first match we're going to be taking a look at today. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm having the most fun with Norsca and High Elves in this. Slaanesh, to me, I can smell overpowered, and I don't like it. Norsca is going to be Norsca, the jury is still out, but Slaanesh is going to be... Norsca is going to be an S-tier faction, 100%. But are they going to be as cracked as Slaanesh? I don't know, maybe. Maybe the Kurgans will get it done. All right, guys. So let's go here. We're going to do this. And now we're going to load in and do another battle replay here. Does Nurgle get anything? Let me look. Firstly, I'm just going to delete that replay real quick so I don't accidentally cast it again. And, all right, let me find this. There we are. Okay. The next replay I'm going to show you guys is so ridiculous, by the way. It's so ridiculous. All right. Are you guys ready for this? I will get you the Kurgan Horseman next game. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next battle. We have Slaanesh versus Skaven. This is going to be one of the game of games. Hey, Ents, thank you for subscribing, man. If you guys have ever wanted to see a dead body, here you are. All right. So let me break down my build. We have Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh. We have Slangors over here as well, and more Slangors in the woods. Now, our lord choice is going to be T'Challa, the Denied One. Now, T'Challa is a really fast, brutal assassin character. It's going to be able to roll in there. We do have the Elixir of Damnation, the Whirlwind of Pleasure, as well as the Dance of Destruction. Now, we do also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh with Pavane and Lash, Furies in the Skies, and in the woods here, we have another Vanguard. It's going to be Hellstriders, Slangors, and also Chaos Furies. Now, last but not least, in the woods, we do have Slangors, and we have Slangors, and then one really elite unit in the back, which is going to be the Pleasure Guard. So the Pleasure Guard are the ROR champions of Slaanesh, which are super cool. I love these things. Fast and furious. All right. So we're going to be getting a surround on the Skaven. The Skaven are setting up. They have a Globadier build, which honestly isn't terrible, with Ikit Claw, with Howling Warp Gale, Shutdown Furies, and Cleansing Rune, I would imagine, as well. Avalanche Mortars, Globadiers in the back, Spears with Eshin Triads. All the goodies. The least terrible Skaven matchup. All right, well, we'll see about that. So they're gathering up, and we are going to get a big surround right here, and we're just waiting to surround and avoiding the mortars. And then, oh, we also, this is the replay I wanted to show you guys because it has the Praeton. So this is what this thing looks like. So this is the new Slaanesh kind of monster. It kind of looks like it belongs on like Beastmen or something. But yeah, anti-large, poison damage, armor piercing. It also has all-consuming hatred and endless malice. A pretty nasty beast. So the mortar's just free fire shooting here. It's an easy mistake to make. But now comes the dreaded swarm. All right, you guys ready to see some Skaven? Here you go. So the Praeton's going to be moving in. We're going to be charging in from all sides. So Slangor's going to be vanguarding out of the woods here. Fury's coming from overhead. And this is what it's all about right here, as we are going to be charging in. Pleasure Guard, I think, missed their charge. But look how fast she is. Look how fast that frickin' T'Challa, the Denied One, is. Oh my god, it's so quick. And then these guys get in combat. So they're going to be charging in. We also are going to be using the Pavane of Slaanesh right there. Howling Warp Gale used by the Skaven to lock down the Chaos Furies, okay? But the Praeton is going to be landing right here and landing on top of the Ikit Claw. The Ikit Claw. And honestly doing some huge damage against them immediately right out of the gates. On the flank, we do get T'Challa moving in, and she's going to be using... There's her Whirlwind ability, so instantly wiping out a Clan Rat unit. Brutal stuff. Meanwhile, the champions of Slaanesh are going to be killing a Skaven Slave unit in like 5 seconds, so they're going to get eviscerated and just torn through by these guys. And the Praeton continuing to bully. Meanwhile, Slangor is going to be vanguarding into the back of the Eshin Triad. Slangor is coming in the front as well. So these bad boys are going to be moving in this way and getting it going there. So the Slangors have gotten in. They're going to be ripping and tearing right there. And looking around, ladies and gentlemen, we do see the Praeton attacking, all-consuming hatred active just for the flavor. Fury's landing on all the Globadiers, and now T'Challa, the Desired One, is going to be popping right here on top of the Poison Wing Globes as the lines do begin to break. But the really scary part is going to be the Pleasure Guard. Wherever the Pleasure Guard go, you're going to see dead Clan Rats in a matter of seconds. So they just rip through. This Skaven army is getting cut through so badly right now by these freaking Pleasure Guard. Ikit Claw is already dead to the Praeton, and T'Challa is now going to go on the hunt. So T'Challa is really quick. Ikit Claw has 75 speed. She has 71 right now, but using the Elixir of Damnation, gives a little bit of punch as well. So we do manage to catch Ikit Claw. She's going to be boinking, and where'd she go? Okay, she's going around the side right there, and there's the attack right there. Ikit Claw getting his bread buttered super hard, and the Skaven army is basically fully routed already. The Praeton, the champions of Slaanesh, the Slangors. Slangors are such a hard counter against Skaven. Oh my god. Don't worry, guys. I'll take care of the bots in a second. Slangors battling it out here. Chaos Fury's doing it, and overall looking really, really brutal as the Skaven get completely obliterated in a matter of about a minute and a half of actual fighting. T'Challa, the Denied One, using the Dance of Destruction, which is going to buff her stats up to almost 700 weapon strength. And Slangor is ripping and tearing. We do also see the Praeton got some huge value. 2,000 value on the Praeton. Using the new Slaanesh monster to fight the Rat Ogre ROR here. And honestly, it's doing some pretty good work. We do also have the Pleasure Guard here. Pleasure Guard are just some of the killiest units in the game. 1,100 value on them. And yeah, there you go. So you guys wanted to see Skaven get massacred. Well, there you go. Dude, it's going to be so bad for Skaven in domination. They're going to be so bad. They're going to be getting obliterated by Slaanesh and Norsca over and over and over, dude. Yeah, the rats really need some milk, man. They really need some. Now, you know, my opponent is another creator, and I have more multiplayer experience probably than them, to be fair. So it could have also been an experience mismatch, but to be fair, you know, it's still going to be very rough. All right, guys, let me get another replay going here and do this. And, okay, so I think it's time for a Sail the Faithless replay. All right, so we're going to get the Kurgan Horseman going. 5% win rate incoming. Where's he when you need him? I don't know. I don't think he could even save them. Yeah. All right, so let me find this. Let me get that replay. Great, and now we're going to go do... Let's do this one. Yeah. Oh, this replay rules. This one is really, really good. You get the Kurgan Horseman, you get the Dreadmaw, you get the Cursed Etten, and you also get Sail the Faithless. All right. So this is a straight up monster mash battle, guys. You get Norsca versus Greenskins. All right. So we're going to be using Sail the Faithless on a Mammoth, the Cursed Etten, the Dreadmaw, and the Kurgan Horseman here. So breaking down my build, it is going to be Marauders and Marauder Champions in the front line. So not going to be using the Bearmen in this particular build. I think he's giving a speech, is he? He is. Okay. So Marauder Champions are pretty good against Greenskins, give you a really good sustainable front line. We do have the Sail the Faithless on the Warshine Mammoth, and he's going to be using the Teeth sniping ability, the Nightmaw, Chain Lightning, and Wind Blast. And he does also, of course, have the Backstabbing Sorcery. We got the Kurgan Horsemen with Great Weapons, and I figured they'd be okay against Boarboy Biggins. They look sick. Look at those guys. They're so cool. So these are the Kurgan Horsemen, and they're going to be rolling with the Beast of Tashnar in the flank as like an anti-large squad right there. So 1 second, guys. Let me pause this. All right. I know we got some dreaded bots going here today. It's weird. They're like spamming my name and shit. So that's like they're evolving. They're coming up. Coming up in the world, man. All right. Give me 1 second right here. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Great. All right. Good night, sweet prince. You'll be missed. I appreciate you saying I'm awesome, but we need to keep this going. Okay. So the Kurgan Horsemen are at the ready, and against Greenskins, against Black Orcs and Boarboy Biggins, with support from like Beast of Tashnar and things like that, they should be good. On the other side, we have an Norscan Ice Wolf and more Kurgan Horsemen with Great Weapons, 2 Javelins, and we do have the Cursed Etten Rune Caller. So this guy is so Chadley. Dude, it's the frickin' guy from Scary Movie with the gimp hand. Give me a strong hand. Look at him. He's got the Scary Movie hand. Oh, I love it. But yeah, he's going to be casting Flock of Dooms and just being a menace and going there. All right, guys. So let's get it going and let's have some fun. Now, looking at the Greenskins, double Black Orc, the Biggin, the Acid Burper, Giant, and 2 Boarboy Biggins with Wurzag in the back with the bursting abilities and the snare as well. All right. So let me do this, and this will be the last one we should have to take care of here. All right. I know. I'll take it as a compliment. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'll take care of that. All right. Might have to promote some of you guys, the mods, to karate chop this. Hold on. Let's do that. Let's do this. All right. 1 second. Who's going to be hanging out on the stream for a while? Who's going to be hanging out for a while? Deacon? Yeah, Deacon, you've been here for years. I got you, homie. Let me have him. Okay. I got you. Great. All right, Deacon, I got you, homie. Now you have the job to do. Hey, all right. Let's break down this battle, guys. Sorry about that. Just wanted to clean that up before we get going. All right. So anyways, the battle is now going to be on. Oh, Wicked's here too. Okay, Wicked just arrived. Perfect. So we're all set now. Now we got the double. We got the double team up here. I'll be on here. Just got here. Nice. All right. So we do see the Rogue Idol throwing, but Sail is going to be moving in, and now we're going to be using his Teeth ability. So we use his Schlocken's Teeth, which is a magic missile, Hand of the Gods, and we try and snipe Wurzag. My opponent is a very solid multiplayer player. He moves Wurzag behind the Rogue Idol and hides it. Now, it still does good damage against the Rogue Idol, but it would have brought Wurzag down to like half health. So that was a really MLG play from my opponent. Very, very good stuff. All right, moving on in. We get the Marauder Champions. Javelins coming in, the Cursed Etten as well. But guys, something lurks in the deep dark of the earth. Look, it's the Dreadmaw. The Dreadmaw is creeping under his army right now, and I'm going to jump on the Boar Boy Biggins and then ambush them with the Kurgan Horsemen. It's going to be so fun. All right, so we're moving in. So there we go right there. And the Dreadmaw's on its way. Brain Buster going down from Wurzag right there. You can see it does some nice damage, and here it comes. So the Dreadmaw, Shai Halud. So Shai Halud moves in, and he heralds the ambush. So now when Shai Halud blocks these units up, my Kurgan Horsemen are going to be charging in with the Hound units and their great weapons, and we're going to be dunking on these Boar Boy Biggins. So that was kind of a cool play right there. Able to really get a nice jump on those guys. Granted, the Kurgan Horsemen are very glass cannon, so could lose them. So Monster Mash going down, Javelins being used on the Acid Burper. And now we have the Etten versus the Colossal Squig, and they're going to be battling it out right here. We see the Power Fist right there. And yeah, Dreadmaw just sitting in the front line. I used the Deep Tunneling ability, so I moved the Dreadmaw from the backfield over here to the front line. And now it's on top of the Blackworks right here and is going to be munching on these guys and doing a little bit of work right there. All right, so unfortunately my Kurgans do get wrecked. You know, it makes sense. He used Effigy of the Git to lock them down. Jumped me with Boar Boy Biggins, and also was able to get Wurzag with Ere We Go. So I did get pushed back over there pretty damn good. Now, more Kurgan Horsemen going to be flanking into the back of the Blackworks, which is where they'll really shine. They do have great weapons, so they're going to be boinking pretty hard into the Blackworks, and you can immediately see a lot of HP dropping off the Blackworks. Granted, I'm going to sacrifice them because Goblin Spears are going to pile in and actually do very well against them, but if I can take out this Blackwork unit, to me, that is definitely a win. So Sail is also beast mode because he is a War Shrine character. So he's going to be replenishing the vigor and the physical resist of nearby characters, allowing them to fight against the Rogue Idol. In the backfield, we have a bit of a problem. The Kurgan Horsemen do get caught and killed, and the other ones were sacrificed as well. But honestly, these ones paid for themselves in a way. They knocked down a Black Orc unit. So now I don't need to worry about like a super durable faction here. We're going to be feeling pretty good. The Cursed Etten is going to be having a giant fight. So we have the big giant battle as the giant's going to be turning around. Giant does hit a lot harder than my Etten. Because this is the Runecaller Etten, but the Javelins are really the hard carries here. The Marauder Hunter Javelins doing quite a bit of damage into the Giants. Meanwhile, Sail the Faithless and his Dreadmaw are working on these other Black Orcs, and they're getting some good work in there, for sure. As they continue ripping and tearing. Beasts of Tashnar pull back here a little bit, as he does charge me. And here comes the Nightmaw. So Nightmaw moves in, tears through the remnants of the Greenskin Goblins and Infantry right here. And on the backside, the Beasts of Tashnar are going to be ripping through the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, which, you know, are a little bit vulnerable to Beasts of Tashnar. Cursed Etten is also on his way, and look at this. The Etten did use Enfeebling Foe, but oh, look at that! The Rogue Idol with a freaking steel chair knocks over the Cursed Etten. Oh my god, that's so cool looking. So the Rogue Idol did a body slam attack and knocked over the Cursed Etten. Oh my god, that is what Warhammer's all about right there. And he gets up with his little gimp arm. Oh my god. The regular Ettins are armor piercing. The spellcaster Ettins are not. So this is the spellcaster Ettin. He's currently getting clapped up pretty good by the freaking Rogue Idol right there. He's getting it in. All right, guys. So the Cursed Ettins are going to be fleeing away. We do manage to take down the Acid Burpa. I used the Teeth sniping ability on Sail the Faithless. And now Sail's going to be trying to get a cheeky snipe on Wurzag here. We're going to see if we can get that done. Dreadmaw is basically just sitting here and attacking the Black Orcs, but unfortunately it needs to be closer. It can only use its range attack here, which is okay. Its range attack doesn't do a bunch of damage, but it's just going to be sitting there a little bit sad. So with Dreadmaw, you definitely need to babysit him a little bit. Beasts of Tashnar over here and the dreaded Kurgan Horsemen have returned. They didn't hear no bell, getting about 400 value in their first life, but you know, they're back for more. They get a rear charge in there, and the Kurgan Horsemen able to help finish off these Boar Boy Biggins and chase those guys back. The hills have eyes. A little bit of that, for sure. The Etten has 37 speed. Rogue Idol has 26. The enemy Giant has 33, so it is faster. And we are devolving into a bit of a late-game monster mash. And this game is very even. I mean, he's got a full-health Rogue Idol. He's got a Giant at half health. Wurzag, of course, is a good support character. But I do have a Mammoth also. And the one thing that is going to make me very, very ahead of my opponent is the fact that I have the Giver of Glory, the War Shrine Mammoth. So my Etten is only winded. The Dreadmaw is fresh. The Rogue Idol is debilitated. The Giant's going to be exhausted. So my monsters are not going to be tired, and my opponent's monsters are going to be exhausted. So that is a huge late game win for me. Over here, Kurgan Horsemen and Beasts of Tashnar are going to be forming the ranks. And here, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be moving in with Sail the Faithless and the Cursed Etten to do some glorious monster mash battle. Now, the Dreadmaw is an okay monster fighter if you can get it close. That's the hard part. He does have 65 melee attack and poison. And poison his blood as well. It gives him some damage reflection. But we're going to be getting the Kaiju fighting here, as all the big monsters are going to be monster mashing. Classic old school land battle stuff, you know. It happens more in Conquest and what's it called in land battle. But I think Conquest is great. I honestly had a lot of fun playing Conquest with Dob. It kind of gave me the itch to play the format a little bit. But yeah, here we do see the Giant getting whooped on, and he's going to be getting taken to Pound Town by the Dreadmaw, as well as the Cursed Etten here. Black Orc's going to be broken, and the enemy Giant is going to be going down. Now it's basically just the Rogue Idol and Wurzag. Wurzag being hunted down by the Beast of Tashnar. Marauder Champions here. I do have the objective as well, so we're going to be in pretty comfortable shape. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to be all she wrote. We're probably going to see the Rogue Idol getting circle beaten here. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding. It fights really well, though. That Rogue Idol actually beat the hell out of my Cursed Etten, and it's being 3v1 by Dreadmaw, Etten, as well as the Mammoth there. So pretty impressive performance, but we do manage to bring it down. Eventually, Sail going to be using Chain Lightning, Dreadmaw helping out, and we do see the Rogue Idol disintegrating due to army losses. Really, really fun match, honestly. Yeah, it was a fun match. We both just brought big haggard monsters and just fought it out. The Dreadmaw got about 600 value. Now, I think there's a bug with the Dreadmaw where it doesn't show the value damage it does, but it pops up from the earth. So the Dreadmaw realistically probably closer to about 800, 900 value, which makes sense considering it's what's it called? It's 1,000 gold only. Kurgan Horsemen did fine. I played them very poorly, but honestly, I think they're pretty good. And Sail did good. The Etten got about 1,600 value, paid for itself. The Rogue Idol got 2,000 value. Giant got 1,300, and the Big Squig is kind of what threw the game for the Greenskins there. All right, so let me get the next replay up. Yeah, there's new animations for Lord of Heaven, I think. Yeah. All right, so that was a fun one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a replay of a really weird replay here. This replay is Hog to the Wild. So this is going to be Slaanesh versus Lizardmen, and this is me trying to make Slaanesh work as like an archer faction. All right, so let's load in and have some fun with this game. So here we have the Mask of Slaanesh versus Lizardmen. Lizardmen have a solar engine. They have a Dread Saurian and also the Sacred Cohort of Huatl with Mazda Money as well. And I wanted to move in and surprise my opponent by bringing an archer build. So what we have is double Chosen of Slaanesh in the front line. We have the Mask of Slaanesh with its Mortis Engine ability, which is going to be the Dance of Dreaming. And then we do also have the Staff of Mass for healing. Double Devotees of Slaanesh in the back with archers. Hellstriders, Fiends of Slaanesh, and Pleasure Seekers. Pleasure Seekers look pretty wild. I don't know if you guys have seen these things, but they are nuts. And the Pleasure Seekers will be able to definitely do some huge damage. All right, so that's it for my army. And now for my opponent's army, Classic Lizards, Dread Saurian, Sara Spears, all sorts of good stuff like this. And let us see how this battle goes down. Those Singer tits, that's funny. All right, rolling. Here we go, baby. The Chosen of Slaanesh going to be surging into the front line with the Mask of Slaanesh as well. Devotees with their crossbows in the back. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a counter to them. He did have the Bastillodon with the solar engine. I was really sad about that. I was like, damn it. Why would he bring that against me? But he must have suspected that I was going to bring the crossbows. Chosen, though, will be really beast mode in the front line, and the Mask of Slaanesh is a Mortis Engine, so it will be very helpful against the Saurus Infantry. So here they come. Moving on in are the big Giga Chad Chosen of Slaanesh, which are a badass-looking unit, and they will dominate these Saurus in combat, right? Mask of Slaanesh moving in. Now we should see the Mortis Engine applied. We do see it. So the Mortis is here, and we see the Mask is now the Dance of Dreaming. So it lowers their leadership and drains them. Meanwhile, on the flanks, we use the Pleasure Seekers, and look how quickly they kill the Skink Cohort. Nasty. So we obliterate them in like a couple seconds, and we're going to be using the Phantasmagoria to lock down the Dread Saurian, allowing our crossbows to shoot, but that freaking Bastillodon Solar Engine really giving me a lot of trouble here. So we are getting some good bow fire in. On the flanks, we pull back the Pleasure Seekers before they get tar pitted by these units, and the Skink Cohort did get killed already. So a little bit scary, but the Dread Saurian is eating some damage, also being afflicted by the Mortis, which is cute. But my Archer is not doing bad work, but Ruination of Cities is going to be coming in from Mazdamundi here. That's going to be nailing it right there. Yeah, unfortunately, he gets very unlucky with that. Fiends of Slaanesh being sent in the front line to help deal with the Cohort of Huatl. Need a little bit of mass to deal with them, and also keep the Dread Saurian at bay. Dread Saurian losing some health, but it's going to be getting healed up by Mazdamundi. So the dreaded Dark Elf Slaanesh here, not doing badly, honestly. Able to get the Dread Saurian low, and you know, doing a little bit of work here. Now, remember, these guys, unfortunately, though, are quite expensive. They are 1,100 right there. They are 1,100. Fiends of Slaanesh in the front, going to be battling it out. And the Mortis Engine effect from the Mask still draining down all of these different Saurus infantry. In the meantime, going to be calling in Hellstriders to help out against the Dread Saurian in case it tries to dive into the secondary right there, while the Mask of Slaanesh continues winning the frontline engagement. Over here, using Pleasure Seekers to cycle charge, so basically just moving into infantry blobs and then running away. And my opponent tries to get into my backfield using the... it's so weird, having a Slaaneshi backfield of archers. It feels so wrong. But the Skinks do try and get back there, but the Pleasure Seeker is going to turn around and really, really intercept these guys. and tear them to shreds pretty quickly. Pleasure Seekers are a really killy unit. Super fun. Glass Cannon, though, for sure. Just like Slaanesh should be. Here comes the crossbow fire. Devotees of Slaanesh have gotten the Dread Saurian down relatively low. Pulling back here are the Fiends of Slaanesh. I did see a flank coming around from the Skin cohort. So I was like, I need to deal with this right now. So we're going to set up shop, and we are going to make sure we have the protection. Couple Coldland Spear Riders move in. We're going to be charging them in a second to try and deal with them. Meanwhile, the Mask of Slaanesh are dominating the frontline fight pretty hard. Chosen, as well as the Devoted Marauders, and Chosen over here, really, really crushing it. But we're going to be pulling the Mask back here. Jim Carrey's about to go balls deep back here. And yeah, we'll be doing some great damage. I mean, the Mask is an amazing AP fighter, even against big targets. We're going to be using it to try and stabilize the backfield. The Mask is going to be mortis draining down the Spearmen right here. In the meantime, Fiends and Pleasure Seekers taking a lot of damage from the big Dread Saurian Chad. Dread Saurian's hitting at about 1100 value. And the crossbows are going to be trying to get back online. But they've been getting obliterated pretty badly by the Solar Engine and also by Mazdamundi's Ruinations and Banishments. It's been very, very tough. The Dread Saurian here in okay shape. Bounce power is very, very even here in this game, as we do see the Dread Saurian basically soloing my backfield. Pleasure Seekers helping to clear out some of the chaff units, and we definitely need to use the Pleasure Seekers to run them down. But it looks like they might disintegrate here. They are demonic units, if I'm not mistaken. So potentially going to disintegrate. Looks like they do stabilize there. Chosen still doing the work of the gods. One Chosen unit here, able to defeat the Saurus in the front. The other Chosen probably should have used it to get on top of the Solar Engine. Maybe we'll be doing that relatively soon. As the Pleasure Seekers do come back here, and once again are going to be very excellent at ripping apart these chaff units. Now, this is an 1800 gold unit versus a 300 gold unit. And they should be healing, right, with their Soul Scent. So when a unit breaks and runs near them, the Skink unit, they should be getting a healing ability here relatively soon. Now, Jim Carrey did get beat up a little bit in the front line by the Dread Saurian, which is getting a great apotheosis. And now the dinos are starting to get in a decent position here. So Pleasure Seekers continue bouncing around, trying to farm value. Chosen chasing down the Solar Engine. Other Chosen here at the ready. The Dino army is very centered in on the Dread Saurian right now. So I'm trying to pick off what I can and get that sweet healing going. And the Pleasure Seekers are currently running away from the Croxicores. We do see the banishment from Mazdamundi going down here onto the Chosen, as the Chosen fighting a hard fight. And Bastillodon will be decent against them, but should be able to trade against most of these other units relatively well. And more crossbow fire from the Devotees, who have been able to get 1200 value this game, which is honestly not bad. They were able to trade pretty well and take down a lot of HP off that Dread Saurian, but Dread Saurians are a tough thing to bring down, man. Very, very tough. Chosen still grinding. Here we do get the crossbow fire into the Sacred Cohort of Hwaddle. Chosen going to be moving back in, but soon going to be getting obliterated by the frickin' Dread Saurian. And the Mask of Slaanesh, just trying to find freebies. I'm trying to get rid of all the small assets to allow me to isolate the Dread Saurian with the remnants of my anti-large cavalry, but we will see. Yeah, the Mask is very squishy, but it's very good. I don't know. We'll see how it's going to do. But having a high-speed Mortis engine is very, very nice. I think the Mask will be used a lot, at least in Domination mode, because it's a fast Mortis, which is so good. I don't know about Conquest. It is very vulnerable to sniping. Like, all the Slaanesh new lords are very weak to sniping. So Pleasure Seekers are just a generalist, hard-hitting unit, so I decided to send it on the Bastillodon here. Granted, probably should have piled in and tried to take down the Dread Saurian right now. That might have been the stronger play. But we end up going after the Bastillodon, trying to get down the Solar Engine to allow my archers to shoot. We have our 2 Dark Elf archers still shooting right here. So those bad boys going to be blasting away, but the Mask of Slaanesh getting bullied by the Dread Saurian, so is going to be forced to run. It's sitting at about 1800 value right now. The Bastillodon Solar Engine still hanging in there. Value is close-ish. I'm probably a little bit behind with healing taken into account. The Dread Saurian is still a huge problem. I do use Narcissism on it. And that's kind of one of the fun ideas that you see for what's it called, for Slaanesh, is you have all these snare abilities, and now that you have ranged units, maybe there's some like weird strategies you can do with them. I still think the ranged units for Slaanesh are a bit of a trap. Like, I don't think the Devotees are really worth bringing. Typically, spending that 1300 gold to get 2 more Fiends of Slaanesh would have just been exponentially better in my opinion, but it's still really fun that it potentially opens up other opportunities here. So we're going to grind these guys down. The Dread Saurian is slowly killing my Chosen units. And from here, we're basically probably cooked. Mazdamundi on his toilet seat. We got a Solar Engine back here. Do a little bit of fast forwarding as we continue fighting it out. And the Mask doing great work. I do go for picks. Almost get a pick on Mazdamundi, actually, because my opponent did get a little bit out of position. And I end up using the Dance on the Mask. That is a big AoE slow. So look, it slows the Dread Saurian down and lowers its vigor, which is really, really cool. Now, this one is pretty hog wild. All right. So let's keep going, and yeah, you do see the Mask basically get hunted down, so Jim Carrey has a bad time, and the Lizardmen with a victory. Really fun game. Now, my takeaway from that game was, There was aspects of my build which I liked. I mean, obviously, I wasn't trying to bring a competitive build that would, you know, crush it. I was mainly experimenting using Phantasmagoria with the crossbows, and it didn't do badly, right? We have 1,800 here, 1,000 here. Pleasure Seeker's got about 1,500, but yeah, our Archer Corps didn't do badly. Chosen able to grind pretty well in the front line, didn't quite pay for themselves, probably could have used Warriors. And yeah, it was fun. But in retrospect, I would probably cut the 2 crossbows and maybe just kill the rest of the Lizardmen army, maybe get a couple more Fiends or something. But I don't know, like, they did pay for themselves, right? They did pay for themselves. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. All right, so let's get another replay going here, and let's hang in there. All right, perfect, perfect. Yeah, the Solar Engine kind of won that game, right? Yeah, the Mask is going to be strong, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's too early to call anything OP yet. It's the time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah, I don't think they'll need banning. I don't think so either. Okay, so that was a really fun game. So next up, we're going to do a High Elf game. We can do this one, which is perfect. Yes. So we're gonna do this. This game, guys, there's a lot of mistakes. This was the very first game I played on the DLC. So, and Dov also was one of his first games too. So we both don't use things optimally, but it's still a very fun match. So we're gonna be using the Sea Lord here in this game, and then we do also have a Mist Mage. All right, so let's break it down. So, ladies and gentlemen, taking a look at my army here in the front, it's going to be Ship's Company and the company of Calandarian. How do you say that? Calandarian? Calandarian, that makes sense. So these are the ROR Ship's Company, which should be okay at fighting in the front, just really cool. And we do also have a Sea Elemental. So Sea Elementals are awesome. Really, really nasty fighters. They also have super high melee defense for a monster. And when they get low, they spawn another unit, which is cool. Up in the sky, we have 2 Lothern Sky Cutters, and we do have a Mist Mage, basic archers in the back, and Sea Lord Iceland here is going to be on the dragon. So the dragon is going to be here. We do have the Master of the Mist, which I do use during the game, but it's very underwhelming. This was my first time, so it was just getting used to it. But we use it on the archers for like a couple seconds. It's really not that exciting, but yeah. Yeah, no, these guys are great. The company of Calandarian are amazing. For Dov's build, it's even more Chad than mine. He's got double Dreadmaw, Marauder Horseman, a Bloodshriek Chimera, a hell of a lot of Bear Marauders, and then he does have Sail the Faithless in the Woods. So he brought Sail on horseback this game. So he's just going to be using Pendulum, the Teeth Sniping ability, and Nightmaw, which honestly is probably a pretty decent kit. I don't hate that at all. All right, guys, the battle is on, and we do see the skirmish going down. So the Sky Cutters are really good in the skirmish game because they do have 80 armor. So those guys are going to be chilling out here as they do continue shooting into the Marauder Horsemen. The Sea Elemental is immune to contact effects, so it cannot be poisoned, it can't be afflicted by anything, and it's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. So Sea Elemental is going to be creeping around, and Sea Lord Iceland here is going to be flying. I will be using his rally ability during this game as well, and you can see the shooting from the archers as well as the Lothern Sky Cutters, not bad. Putting a little bit of hurt down into the basic units here as the Norscan Horde does advance. Now, the Dreadmaws are lurking. Homie does have 2 Dreadmaws right there. I haven't tried Iceland on the Sky Cutters. I don't really use the Sky Cutters in melee too much. I mainly use them as like a ranged skirmish unit. Spearmen here are getting pounded a little bit. And we do see the Marauder Bearmen coming in. They are ITP, which is going to be really, really nice. Dreadmaws are probably going to get into my archer line here. If I remember correctly, this game I played a little while ago, but Dov does move in. And yeah, the Dreadmaws are tunneling under my army. Now, I can see the Dreadmaws. When they're that close, you can see where they are. That's why Sea Lord is pulling back, because I want to use him to fight the Dreadmaws. Sky Cutter's doing great counter-skirmishing against the Horsemen here, but if I was a little bit more experienced with them, having played more games since then, I would probably use them to run into the Marauder Bearmen. Oh, and man, how nice is it to have a Swordsman unit for High Elves, right? So we got the Ship's Company down here, and these guys are going to be able to hold back these Marauders relatively well. Now, Spearmen would as well, but they actually have a little bit more killing power, right? So here comes one Dreadmaw, and Dov going to be using a Wind Blast on my units in the front. Dreadmaw's about to pop up in a second. As the Horsemen continue getting nailed, Sail's going to be pulling in, and his Manscore, the Bloodshriek Chimera, will be making its way into my lines as well. So the battle rages on, and that is going to be Nightmaw right there, so check it out. Doing a lot of damage, and he's going to be creeping through the lines. Look at him going. He's like, ugh. Looking like a HP Lovecraft monster right there. But yeah, I mean, that's beautiful damage. Really, really good play by Dov. Able to break through the front line, but Sail decides to move in, and he's getting his butt kicked by the Sea Elemental. The Sea Elemental looks so freaking cool. You know, I thought it looked a little bit haggard at first, but the more I played with it, I was like, that thing actually is pretty sick. So Sea Elemental bonking my opponent's front line here. And in the back, we do see the Dreadmaw pop up. So the Dreadmaw does emerge, and I attack it, but then he burrows again. Dob is like straight up tremoring me right now, dude. Nice attack from the Bloodshriek Chimera, getting a breath attack on my Spearman right there. So I do summon a unit of Oceanids. So the Mistmage is able to summon the Oceanids, which are really a hard counter against Norscan infantry. Really, really tanky anti-infantry, good against light armor, and here they will be able to rip apart a lot of these units. So the Dreadmaw burrows back in the ground, and I can't attack it. And then it pops back up when I leave. I cannot tell you how annoying that is. Now, one thing that you could do as a counterplay is you could use the archers and just run away. You could, like, scurry back, and then they'll have to wait for their cooldown to get you again, right? And then they have a 1,000 gold unit chasing your 400 gold unit. So in a way, it's okay. Oceanid's holding it down, though, and we do see Sea Lord Iceland here battling it out versus the Bloodshriek Chimera. Chimeras are really good fighters. I mean, look at this thing. It poisons you, and now, nice teeth sniping ability. So there we do see Sail the Faithless using his sniping ability, the teeth of Chalkane, or whatever the hell it's called, Shalkane, yeah, and is able to melt Sea Lord Iceland a little bit. So I do respond using a Potion of Toughness. Skycutter Chariot's going to be coming over to provide some support to the Sea Lord and make sure he doesn't get bullied by all of these guys. And the Skycutter Chariot's going to be diving in, so one going that way. And now we're going to be seeing the Skycutters route off what they can. So they do get the charge, break the Horsemen, and here they come. Let's see how janky this looks. So it's mainly just the Eagles attacking. When the Chariots get in, the Eagles just do most of the damage in melee, it looks like. Okay, that's fair. So not most damage, most of the animations. Now in the backfield, taking a look, archers do get back online, and we do see the Dreadmaw burrowing again. So Dov has been microing them pretty well and being very aggressive. The Sea Elemental still doing great work, working on the Marauder Champions, while the Silvern Guard, which I did have in my build, continue to hold it out. Sail the Faithless does get bullied by the Lothern Skycutters, though. They are able to shoot him and bring him very, very low. Meanwhile, Sea Lord is going to be hunting down the Bloodshriek Chimera. Bloodshriek Chimera does have the ability to heal using the Perfect Predator ability. It can go invisible somewhere and heal, and I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to be doing here in a second. So the enemy Lord is down. The Norscan army does have its double Dreadmaws heal, and the Dreadmaws have been able to shut down my archers very effectively. Now, looking at the burrow ability, Deep Tunneling is the teleport ability, which can teleport them 130 meters. The burrow ability has a 20-second cooldown. So, yeah, you can't just, like, spam it nonstop. He's going to be up for 20 seconds here. Oh, look at that! Sail the Faithless overcasting a pendulum on the Silvern Guard. But in doing so, he blew himself up. I mean, it doesn't get much more chaos than that. That is about as chaos energy as you could possibly have. All right, Ship's Company going here. We do see the Dreadmaw burrowing once again, while the Lothern Skycutters continue flying about, using their ammunition to shoot into the Bearmen. Another Dreadmaw does emerge from the ground, and the Ship's Company now going to be stealing the objective here. Meanwhile, up in the sky, Lothern Skycutter is going to be battling it out versus the Bloodshriek Chimera, which was healing, but it has to be on the ground to get its heal, I think. Oh, it looks like, no, it's still healing. Oh, you can only activate it on the ground, but once you activate it, you can then go back up in the sky. Okay, that's actually even better. That's even better. So here we're going to be using the range of the mist, but look at the range of my archers. It wasn't an optimal time, to be honest. I forgot about the ability, but I use it here. And these archers have 360 range. Look at that. That's like a bolt thrower, dude. It's so fun. It's so freaking fun. All right, so they're fighting the Bloodshriek, and they're doing some damage against it. You can see its HP dropping. Yeah, honestly, these Skycutters are actually kind of messing up this Chimera a little bit. Kind of decent. Sea Lord's going to come across and finish the job, and we do also have the Sea Elemental. Sea Elemental has gotten some good chevrons this game, about 1,600 value here. And that's a cool animation as it does pile into the Marauders. And let's watch this bad boy fight for a little bit longer. High Elves are definitely eating well in this update. I'm very happy for you High Elf players. You guys deserve this, man. They have been neglected for far too long. And by the way, I have a replay going up at 2 p.m. today. I'm going to be streaming until about 11 or noon. And then we have a replay going up later, which is going to be so freaking good. It's a full naval rush. So mass High Elf monstrous rush. Super fun. All right, guys. So we do see Sea Lord battling here versus the Dreadmaw. At this point, they're basically cooked. Dreadmaws are good fighters, but not a Star Dragon. And the Sea Elemental is going to be able to beat it as well. Plus, the Sea Elemental is also immune to poison, so it doesn't care about the poison damage of the Dreadmaw. But look at that. Job burrows over with 2 Dreadmaws. And is attacking. I love it. They're so freaking cool. They're so freaking cool. All right, guys. At this point, basically just a grind. And we are going to be closing out the game in victory for the High Elves against the dreaded Norsca. Super fun, man. Super fun. Yeah, dude. Oh, hold on. How can we crack the Sea Lord? Hold on. Let me think about this for a second. So we need to go here. I don't want to spoil all these. I have some really, really good ones. Yeah, so that was this one. That was the first game we had played. Okay, so... Oh, hold on. Hold on. So if we go High Elves, and we add an AI ally, and we give them what? What would be like a unit we want to buff the range of? So do we do like, what's a shotgun unit or a gun unit we could buff the range of? That would be really fun. I need some suggestions, guys. I need some suggestions. What would be like a powder unit? That'd be really funny to like, oh, Infernal, oh wait, Grimdelvers? Or Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses. Yeah, oh, let's try that out, hold on. Okay, so we got the Sea Lord here. He's gonna be in, we'll just put him on his ground for now. Oh, Rattling Gunners, oh yeah, okay, hold on. So let's do some Skaven Rattling Gunners. Skaven get neglected so much. We need to give them some love here. Yeah, Rattling Gunners, and then we're going to go ahead and just get a couple... yeah, we'll just get some Bretonnian Peasants to see what happens. Flamethrowers have only 80 range. These things have 145, so they're going to be pretty long range. Oh man, this is going to be fun. Okay, let's try this out. Hopefully the AI will keep their shit together. The Marathi, I didn't see anything on the Marathi roster for multiplayer. We looked. All right. You guys ready for the forbidden combos? The 2v2, the Sea Lord combos? All right. Oh, the AI already deploys pretty close, unfortunately. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the volley. Buff up these rats here. And look at the range. The Rattling Gunner range. 290 Rattling Gunners. Oh, that's so fun. It's such a short duration, but the flavor on that is so good. Oh man, I love that. I kind of want to play a High Elf campaign now and use that. Dude, 290 range Rattling Gunners. The actual strat is just going to be using Jezzails. Just cross map anything that moves. Yeah. So let's do Blue Reach River. Hold on, Blue. Is that map still here? Reach. Blue Reach River. Okay, hold on. So we're going to be getting the Jezzails. Okay. And we're going to be getting these guys. Let's try that out. We'll wait till they get in range. Yeah. It's very short duration, but I think with like a Sister of Avalorn type unit, it could pay for itself. All right, so let's do this. We're going to see what the Skaven are going to do here. I think they'll just set up. Let's get behind them. And let's try it out. All right, so we're going to do this. It lasts for... Here we go. So we use that, and now, yeah, 550 range Jezzails, dude. I mean, the AI is not doing it correctly, but 550 range Jezzails is pretty badass. Yeah. It's a short duration, right. It's very limiting in that way. It's very limiting in that way. All right, let's get this going. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And what do we want to do next? We are going to do... yeah, this could be a fun game. This was a game that Dov played. Dov played. So here we are. It's another replay of some of the new stuff. But I think it works on artillery too. So we got Dov versus Wolfric here. It's going to be Archaon with the Marauder Bearmen, also using the Champions of Slaanesh, facing off against the new Beastmen. So Beastmen are going to be using Slangors, and then we do also have the Chimera as well. You could use it on Avalanche Mortars. You could. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the Warriors of Chaos Army here, it's going to be Marauders in the front, backed up by the Pleasure Guard. So really getting all the monstrous kind of infantry type units in play. So we got Pleasure Guard, we got Severed Claw, and Rot Knights in the back, the Rotting Riders, with the Archaon with Burning Head and Searing Doom. For the Beastmen army here, it is going to be a mass Slangor front line, but we do also have the dreaded Chimera as well. So Chimera is ready to party, and there it goes. So Chimera rolling dirty. In the backfield, we got Minotaurs with Great Weapons, Malagor with the Flock of Doom spam, and we will move forward and see how this battle unfolds. So rolling. Yeah, Beastmen are still limited on their marks. You guys ready to see the damage? Yeah, so we do get a charge coming in from the Pleasure Guard, and they're going to start ripping these guys up. But there are some Minotaurs with Great Opens nearby, so a bit of a precarious one. The Pleasure Guard are going to want to pull back. That is a terrible trade for them. They're not going to have a good time. Archaon going to be Burning Heading, and we do get an Amber Spear used right there, but Burning Head comes through, and the Slangors are going to be getting eviscerated. Archaon also pulling in to help, and the Rot Knights are going to be moving into the front line as well. There's a couple of Marauder Horsemen throwing axes in the secondary, going to be throwing spears or throwing axes into the Bloodshriek Chimeras. Marauder Bearmen. Yeah, very tanky, but Slangors are quite excellent at dealing with infantry, and they look pretty funny too. They look much more human. They're kind of a flesh down there, but they will be able to help. But the Bearmen are immune to psychology, so the Chimera here is not going to just kind of terror out them super quickly. Flock of Doom going down from Malagor, while the Marauder Horsemen in the back are going to be throwing into old Jabberwocky right here. But Archaon with Slayer of Kings and the Crown in the front, really able to break through the front lines, and the Pleasure Guard are still ripping and tearing. They're able to get into the backfield and do some huge damage here. Really, really getting the work done. Searing Doom activated, Marauder Bearmen moving forward, Marauder Bearmen on the other side, or just basic Marauders over there, duking it out right here. And yeah, guys, we got a knockdown, drag-out fight here, but Warriors of Chaos have been able to break through the front line. Archaon is going to be a big carry piece. And now the Rot Knights retreat from the frontline fight. They regroup, and they're going to be going after the Jabber Scythe right here. So the Jabber Wookiee is going to be taking a ton of anti-large attacks. And this was the original Wookiee before the Merworm came, but now we have the actual the Mer Wookiee. So times have changed. Chimera popping into the backfield, helping out. I think Chimeras are actually really cool. The ROR one, especially with the healing, is pretty dank. But the Jabber Scythe getting the business from the Rot Knights, and the Slangor front line are really nice, really nice supplement for the Beastmen, but still does end up losing to the Pleasure Guard as well as the Marauder Bearmen. I think the Slangors would beat the Bearmen in a 1-to-1 fight, but would be a bit of a knockdown, drag-out fight for sure. Rot Knights doing what they can, but Beastmen surging forth with Ungor Spears and the Bloodshriek Chimera. Let's watch its animations for a minute. So they're going to be continuing to bonk around. Let's see what it actually looks like. I remember in the Gotrek and Felix books, Gotrek actually fights one of these things. So Bloodshriek Chimera getting back up in the sky, going to be encircling there. And Ungor Raiders shut down by diving Marauders. Archaon with his Crown of Domination going to be giving a huge buff to all nearby units. Meanwhile, Marauder Horsemen continue boinking. Objective is currently owned by the Warriors of Chaos, and Chaos are looking, I would say, a little bit ahead in this game. Granted, Malagor's still healthy. We do still have a full health Chimera. But this Chaos Death Star is so nasty. Breath attack from the Chimera, pretty cool, like a mini dragon right there, able to roast down some of these bad boys. Yeah, I don't think Bearmen should be on the Warriors of Chaos roster. I agree with you 100%. I think it's maybe it's an oversight. They forgot to change it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it should be a Norscan exclusive unit. All right, Burning Head, really nice one from Archie right there. Severed Claw are going to carry this game. They're very healthy, and the Pleasure Guard are still going strong. Pleasure Guard are also unbreakable. So even in dire situations in the late game, they're still going to be generating you huge value. And even though they are anti-infantry, they still do pretty good against other things. So they're going strong here. It's kind of funny how the Pleasure Guard are considered like a large entity, right? Even though they're like straight up smaller than the Severed Claw. Look how massive the Severed Claw are, by the way. We're going to try and get some domination games today. Yeah, we're going to try. But the players I played with in the early access are mostly Conquest players. So yeah, most of the games I played so far are Conquest. Marauder Horseman throwing axes still circling about, and Archaon the Everchosen able to break the lines. We do see the Jabber Wookiee moving in, but Archaon's going to be turning and probably finishing that thing off. Pleasure Guard getting a little bit low. Severed Claw also helping. And the old Bloodshriek Chimera probably should have been used more so to maybe help deal with the Pleasure Guard. It's hard to say. Malagor the Dark Omen still flying around using the Flock of Dooms if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if he lived or if he got broken. Oh, Malagor straight up chasing the Rot Knights all the way off the battlefield. Okay. So there they go. What do we got here? Bloodshriek Chimera being hammered by the Marauder Horsemen, and Archaon just looking too strong. And he does have his Pleasure Guard, still 3 of them. 200 kills. Let's just watch their animations for a second, see what they look like. I think they're so cool. Yeah, really able to rip and tear in there pretty effectively. Getting some good work in, and what is going to be going down? We do see the hunt continuing on the Ungor Raiders as the Severed Claw continue moving in, and the Marauder Bearmen also going to be moving forth. And ladies and gentlemen, I think Warriors of Chaos win this. Like, nothing can kill Archaon here. Nothing. I mean, you get the Bloodshriek Chimera who's going to try. Fast forward a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, you can see it trying to fight Archaon, but Archaon, able to really keep that thing in check. Malagor does come back. Ungor Raiders trying. Severed Claw still kind of healthy. Pleasure Guard are down to the 2 models left here. Minotaurs have a couple models as well. As the Slangors are really quick, by the way. Look at that. 59 speed on the Slangors. God damn. So Slangors, when their Pleasure Through Pain is fully activated, 30% speed buff. Dude, that is really nice. So when you have like beat up Slangors in the late game, getting a 60 speed unit that can like dive archers and artillery on your infantry, that's really cool. I mean, of course they have to be damaged for you to get that full effect, but in late game domination, they're going to be scattered all over the battlefield. And why do Beastmen not have Corn Tors? I think they should probably have those. Yeah, foot cab, basically, I know. Slaanesh is so freaking quick. Archaon battling versus the Bloodshriek Chimera, and to my surprise, is actually putting up a pretty good fight. But the objective belongs to the Warriors of Chaos, and the game is close enough that they'd probably just win on points. Slayer of Kings activated, 870 weapon strength for Archie, and the Bloodshriek Chimera. What kind of value have we got in this game from this thing? It's currently sitting at about 1,000 value, so not bad. Not amazing either. It's about 1,800 to bring that thing, so yeah. GG. Well played, most likely. Severed Claw and Archeon, I think, just cleaned up the house here. And that is going to be all she wrote. Yeah. Oh, there was a disconnect, by the way. The Warriors of Chaos won that game, but one of the players I was watching, they disconnected. So that's why. I think Dov disconnected, and that's why that happened. Yeah, I don't know why the bounce power was for Beastmen there. It was definitely not in their favor. Okay, so let's go here, and we're going to delete that one. And now we have a couple other ones here. Yeah. I have Kislev versus a huge Kurgan Horseman army, which we could do. So let's do that one real quick. All right. So here in this game, this is me playing Kislev against Dov on Norsca. He's going to be using Sail, and he does also have the Bearmen, including the Marauder Bearmen Great Weapons, 4 Kurgan Horsemen, and 4 units of Marauder Horsemen as well with Javelins. We've seen a lot of Dreadmaw. We have seen a lot of Dreadmaw action. That is for sure. All right, guys. So we're going to fast forward a little bit since, you know, this game, we're deployed on opposite sides of the map and it's very big. So I have double Griffin Legion, Kislevite Warriors, or Armored Kossars in the front line, Patriarch, and Double Dragon. I figured there was going to be Dreadmaws or some sort of a big monster like mammoths or something, so we bring that. Dov has 4 Kurgan Horsemen, Mass Bearmen. He does have Sail the Faithless on the backside on a chariot, which is incredibly risky against Kislev because of Little Grom. But he's got Chain Lightning and Nightmaw as well as Shlakane's Teeth right there. So that is going to be that. All right, guys, so we're going to fast forward a little bit while the skirmishing goes down. Dov's basically going to be enveloping me here. But Kislev is really good against skirmishers because of their combined arms. So I'm able to use my shooting here, the Armored Kossars with their pistols, to actually take pot shots at the Marauder Horseman right there. So not bad at all. Aside from that, the Horse Archers shooting into the old Marauder Bearmen right there. And Little Grom is just ripping shots wherever it can, while the Kurgan army is preparing to advance on me. And I have to say, I was a little bit confused during this game. I was like, which units are his Marauder Horsemen and which ones are the Kurgan Horsemen? Obviously, the ammunition bar is the big tell. But in a blink kind of look here, it's, yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, Bearmen, I don't know. I think the cheap Marauders are still very cost effective because, you know, they're like 200 gold cheaper, which is pretty substantial, right? Or like 150 gold. So Bearmen are awesome, though. Yeah, nice, solid, tanky front line, but very vulnerable against Griffin Legion for sure. So trying to kill his armor piercing while using Little Grom to blast his Kurgan Horsemen. The envelop is coming around from Dov, so he's going to be getting us around here. Of course, we're not corner camping. However, you could corner camp if you want to. I don't think, yeah, in Conquest, I don't think they need any rules, which is really, really nice. It's a great format. But Ice Witch going to be moving in with the Frostworm, and even though they are anti-large monsters, the Kurgan, or the Bearmen here, are going to be getting it pretty bad. The Bearmen, of course, are ITP, so they're not going to tear out easily, and the Chad Griffin Legion moving through, hammering charge into the Bearmen in the front. Immediately retreating them back, retreating away from the Kurgan Horsemen coming in. And this is going to be a nice play. So we kind of lured the Kurgan Horsemen into a bit of a blob. And then we're going to be using the Hawks of Miska. So that's going to be going down here, nailing both those units right there. And the Kislevite Warriors and the Kossars fighting very well. So Kurgan Horsemen do get blasted pretty bad in the face right there. Both of them get terrified and ran back by the discouraged effects of Hawks of Miska. Griffin Legion to the front, dominating the Marauder Bearmen, as they should, while the other Griffin Legion is going to be hammering across into the Bearmen on the other side as well. So they do get in there and do some big damage, while Griffin Legion still holding it down to the front. Now, the Kurgan Horsemen and the Marauder Horsemen have encircled my army. They are just the Javelin, so they're not going to be that good against my armor, which I was very happy about. Dov does have a couple Marauder Hunter Javelins, but they've gotten a little bit danger close, so that was very nice for me. They were targeting my Frostworm, so in doing that, he accidentally moved them a little bit too far forward, which means I'm going to be able to get my Griffin Legion on them. Sail the Faithless is getting his butt blasted by Little Grom pretty bad, but he is going to be dropping the Dreadmaw, or the Nightmaw. So Nightmaw comes in and is going to be ripping through. We get to see some cool effects right there. So there it goes. And it does good damage against armored infantrymen. That is very good. I think Sail is going to be very meta. He has an amazing sniping spell, a really good crowd clearing spell. Obviously, he's getting blasted by Little Grom. It was just a big mistake of Dov to bring him on a chariot here this game. But yes, the battle continues. Frostworm's going to be grinding. Marauder Bearmen not breaking. I mean, holding until they actually get broken because they're ITP. More Bearmen with great weapons coming in, and Marauder Bearmen have gotten into my secondary line and done an okay job at wearing down my Griffin Legion here. So Horse Archer is basically screening out the enemy skirmishers while the Frostworm is able to rip it up here. But losing Sail is basically going to be game blouses for the Norskins most likely. You can see here, not in great shape. Chain Lightning is a good spell. cast it on top of my Griffin Legion and the Kossars, but kind of missed a little bit. He does get shot by Little Grom once again, so he is going to be getting it. There he goes. And ladies and gentlemen, looking pretty good for our Kistlevites here, as we are able to hold and withstand the charge of the Kurgans. Them charging into the Hawks of Miska and getting blasted by the two Frostworms, I think, was very, very tough. And Sail the Faithless going to be routed with 23 HP, as the Balance of Power does come into Kislev favor here, and that is going to be all she wrote here in about 15, 20 seconds, give or take. So yeah, fun game. Obviously just misplays, and he's experimenting, right? I'm playing a faction that I have played a million times in tournaments, and he's just experimenting with new shit. Aside from that, like, the build could work, I think, if Sail wasn't killed. If he was able to stay alive and the Kurgan Horsemen were microed a little bit more carefully, I think that build could totally work. Because Kurgan Horsemen will do well against Griffin Legion, but not in like a head-on fight. Probably need to be the one like layering into them, kind of like Hellstriders, right? All right, guys, so let's go ahead and find another replay here. Okay. This was a fun game here, yeah. This next game is really, really cool, actually. Yes. So let me cut this one out. Okay, so I have 2 more replays. And then we are going to do... let me get rid of this one here. Do that. Yeah, so I have Slaanesh versus Chaos Dwarfs, and then I have High Elves versus Ogre Kingdoms. And that's going to be pretty much all the replays. And then I'll try and get some domination games going. Oh, I'm not having any lag issues. Yeah, no lag issues today. We have a big storm going on right now, too. It's raining pretty heavily outside. All right, let's do the High Elf Ogre Kingdoms game. This will be fun. Yeah, this comes out when? December 4th, is it? Something like that? Yeah, it's still a little ways. Still a little ways. All right, guys, the battle is on. Let's go ahead and break it down. So this build is a fun one. I went double Lothern Skycutter Bolt Throwers. So we have the Bolt Thrower Skycutters. We do also have a Mist Mage, and we have Sea Lord Iceland. So we're going to be using the Mistress of the Deeps and the healing spell. We got Ship's Company, Sylvan Guard, and Fireborn in the back, and Sisters of Avalorn as well. All right. So now for Dov's army, what is the term that people use? It's like a Gen Z, Gen Alpha term when they say they flexed on somebody with how handsome they are. Is it mogging? I think Dov mogged me pretty hard in this game with Greasus. So he brought Greasus Goldtooth, who in Land Battle and Conquest is a lot better than in Domination mode. He's not a meme as much, because he has a Rampage and you have to deal with him as well eventually, or just army lost him, right? Oh, dude, yeah, Diggy. No, it does like 60% HP. If you do the magic missile effect on, it'll do like 55-60% HP on those squishy characters. Yeah. So he's coming in with Greasus, a Thunder Tusk as well, Ogres, Noblars, and Mass Flingers in the back with the Sky Striders. A very, very Chadley build. Very Chadley build from Dov. So we're going to be getting the Sky Cutters, and I was kind of nervous loading into this. I was like, these little Noblar Flingers are going to punish my Sky Cutters over the course of the game. That Miss Passive, it's only 55 meters. Oh, okay, got it. Let me look. So the Miss Passive is only 55 meters. Mistress of the Deeps, the Shroud, and I don't think I brought the passive, so if that's what you're referring to. So yeah, you can see these things are great. I mean, the Lothern Skycutter Bolt Throwers, you get them in a good position and just kind of shoot at big targets. You can see the Thunder Tusk here is getting punished, but Dov is coming for blood. And my army is very flimsy, just a couple Ship's Company and Spearmen. Most of my army is indexed into the big dragon character here. So shooting into the Butcher of the Great Maw, we're trying to do a little bit of sniping while the Mage of the Mist is going to be flying about. I'm kind of wishing I had brought the sniping smell here to try and take down his Butcher really quick, but alas, we did not bring the Mathland Spite, which I think would have been very, very nice, but getting good value, and you can see the damage is not bad. Guac, I don't think the Sky Cutters are going to need to be nerfed for Domination mode, in my opinion. Obviously in Conquest, it's a bit of a different beast, but for like the CA official events and things like that, we'll see if it matters, but yeah, they're good. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure when high-level players get their hands on them, or Conquest players, yeah. I'm curious how they're going to do in Dom. Yeah, nobody's ever going to use regular Bolt Throwers again. Right. These things get a really good angle, right? They get a really good angle. So you can, like, sit just how you want to, and you can see we're sniping that Butcher down pretty well. But in the front line, we do get some Ogres moving in, and the Fireborn are going to be surging forth to meet them. So the Fireborn will be able to pound these Ogre Bulls pretty badly. Meanwhile, the Sisters of Avalorn shooting into the Ogre Bulls here, but my front line's about to get run over really, really badly, guys. As Troll Guts does go down here, and the Bolt Thrower Skycutters are still trying to snipe that caster out. We do also summon the Oceanids using our caster, our Mist Mage, and giving us a little bit of mass in the front line certainly helps, while the Sisters of Avalorn continue shooting. And the Fireborn going to be retreating back out of the Noblars, Spearmen holding ranks, and the Ogre army continues moving this way. So Greeks is going to be moving in this way, and getting ready to drop some rampages. Fireborn going to be trying to intercept the Thundertusk, which gives Bullgorger and Troll Guts. Sea Lord Iceland going to be landing as well, trying to give a little bit of a damage right there. And the caster is getting sniped. We're just using the bolt throwers to continue shooting here, going after the Butcher. In the backfield, Silver and Guard and Spearmen trying to bolster in and help, but the Fireborn getting wrecked pretty badly actually by the Thundertusk. Thundertusks are still a god tier monster, right? And Grease's Goldtooth, he is flexing on me pretty hard. I didn't notice him, his fat girth, but he gets under the dragon here, and he actually is doing a shitload of damage against my Lord. Now, I did not notice this during the game. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Is this Thundertusk really beating me? But then it was Greasus. It was Greasus all along. And the Noblar Flinger is also doing great damage against the Sea Lord as well. So, Lothern Skycutters able to get a beautiful snipe on that Butcher. Man, all those bolt thrower shots hit. I mean, they're so much better than regular bolt throwers. So much better. You could also use the Sea Lord's ability to give them extra range. But again, it would only be like 2 volleys at extra range, you know. So the Ogre Slaughtermaster does get popped in the face. But I'm losing the battle aside from that. The Ship's Company not holding up super well. Spearmen getting folded. And the Silver and Guard are really the only things still holding here. And we do see the Fireborn running away right now. I do end up using the rally ability on the Fireborn here in a second. So the Oceanids do come out. Oceanids are going to be giving me some more buffering against all the mass. But the Noblar Flingers are really, really just giving me the biz. We do see all these guys throwing their pebbles and honestly are going to be getting some big value before this game's over. The Sea Lord getting attacked by the Thundertusk, but I do manage to switch my Skycutters on top of the Thundertusk here. And Lathreel Shroud is there, giving a heal and vigor reduction or vigor improvement, as we're just about to take down the Thundertusk here with the Bolt Throwers. But the rest of my army is pretty much in shambles. I don't have a whole lot left. We've been able to snipe his monsters, but the rest of my ground-based army was pretty bad. I think if you're going to be using a Skycutter build like this, and at least in Conquest mode, you probably would want to use more elite infantry like Phoenix Guard and things that could hold longer rather than like Ship's Company. Simply because, or go a full kiting build, like double Skycutter, Mass Illyrian Reaver Archer, you know, big Air Force, like something like that I think would be very, very good. So at this point of the game, guys, I am in the pits. I mean, Greasus is greasing me up. My Fireborn are back, but not going to be too big of a player. So we are going to do some Benny Hill fast forwarding right here, guys. We're going to speed through it because there's a lot of kiting here and it gets a little bit tedious. So I wanted to see if I could weasel my way back in the game. I use all my ammunition to shoot into the Sky Striders, trying to take them offline. Sea Lord is alive as well. And the Ogre army, I have the mobility advantage. Breath attack and the Skycutters able to break down the Sky Striders here. Meanwhile, we run over Noblars. And you can see they're pretty good at killing infantry. These Bolt Throwers, they kill the Pigback Riders and the Noblars pretty damn effectively there and are able to retreat. So I was like, wait a second, can we actually cheese this game out and win it? As Iceland continues moving, and we are just isolating beat up units on the fringe using the Sky Striders, not Sky Striders, the Skycutters, excuse me. Dragon doing a flank here while the other chariots charge on this side to do some good work. But here, I get greased up pretty good. He actually got me down relatively low. And here on the back, the chariot's getting some nice charges into the Noblars and honestly looking pretty good. I mean, man, it kind of reminds me of like the old Lotus Moon style, right? With the, like he would have a feast with these units. Man, oh man. In Dom, it's not going to be problematic at all because the game would just end. At this point, you would just lose on points. But in Land Battle and Conquest, I can see Skycutters being something, you know, that they might keep an eye on. But for me, it's totally fine, I think. So, yeah, the Flinger's just giving the business, though, to frickin' Sea Lord. He's just been getting obliterated by these damn Noblar Flingers. Yeah. And now Greasus is going to come in, and he's going to rub his grease all over me. And at this point, you know, Dob and I were chatting. I was like, I'm just going to move in and attack. I don't think I could have won. Greasus was too healthy. He would have soloed my entire army. So that's basically going to be GG, but really, really fun match. We get a breath attack. Chariots continue fighting, and yeah, that was a really, really fun game. Got to see at least the strength of the Skycutter Bolt Thrower chariots. I think they were pretty damn cool. So value, let's look, 1,800 and 1,900, and they cost about 1,300 to bring. Sisters of Avalorn died. Probably should have just had a Phoenix Guard there instead. Fireborn kind of got wrecked, but overall fun game. You would probably want to do Larry with a build like this too, like to heal the Fireborn and then replace this with the Phoenix Guard and just kind of like value trade there, but yeah, I got greased, dude. He greased me super hard. Look at the Flinger value, by the way. 800. We got 800 here, 900 here, 1200 here, and 1200 here. Dude, he greased me and he flinged me. Grease maxing, yes, he did. Okay, so somebody wanted me to check a couple things. Oh, no, I have one more replay. I have one more really fun battle. This one was pretty awesome. So this was me on Slaanesh versus Chaos Dwarfs. So we got a freaking Kadai Destroyer versus the Pleasure Seekers. We have a Devotee of Slaanesh, all sorts of fun stuff. So let's load in and do this replay here. All right, all right. The full might of the Asaurian cannot stand against the fat guy on a mobility scooter. It's true. It's true. So here we are. It's a pretty fun game, this one. This is a good scrap here. So I'm going to be bringing a devoted frontline, devoted marauder frontline. We do also have the Mask of Slaanesh, backed up by Champions of Slaanesh, and I figured they'd be really good against Chorf Infantry. We have a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows with Pit of Shades and Melkoths, and we have a devoted Devotee of Chaos. I was like, these guys can probably shoot down the Centaurs, the Trains, different things like that. So they're going to be there ready to party. And the Mask of Slaanesh does have its Mortis engine, as well as its healing ability. So those are the two I really like to bring. On top of that, we got Pleasure Seekers, Hellstriders in the back, and that is going to be it here. So the Pleasure Seekers will be very good against like the Demon Trains and any of the elite targets, really. Slangors and Vanguard in the woods, and Slangors in the Vanguard here. Now for Dov's army, he does have the Kadai Destroyer, Goblin Laborers, Infernal Ironsworn, and a Mass Bull Centaur Renders with Great Weapons. So he was expecting it. He does have 1, 2, and 3, with Astrogoth Ironhand, who's going to be using the Flamestorm as well as the Cascading Firecloak. So that's going to be his army right here. So the battle will soon be on. The Fury's flying overhead, looking for anything. He didn't have any Infernal Guard Fireglaves or anything like that, so going to be Trixie Hobbitses. Devoted Marauders stand at the ready to get massacred, and so too do the Champions of Slaanesh for the Dark Prince. So charge coming in, and we do get a flank charge. His Pleasure Seeker is going to be annihilating some of these unpaid interns, and they will kill them very, very quickly. You can see they would probably kill them in 5 or 6 seconds of fighting. So these Goblin Laborers are already dead. Slangors on the side, going to be getting into the Goblin Laborers here. In the meantime, Blasting Charge is coming out from Dov, and they are able to nail my Slangors in the woods over there, which is a really nice play. But I do have the speed advantage. So the Bull Centaurs chasing, Pleasure Seekers able to use their huge 100 speed to get away. Super annoying. And on this side, I do drop a Pit of Shades right there. Going to be trying to hit that Infernal Ironsworn, but Dov is able to dodge it, so very well played. It still partially gets him, but, can't complain about that. So Bull Centaurs moving into the front line, Pleasure Seekers and Hellstriders getting back, and my crossbows are getting good shots into the Kadai Destroyer, actually. You can see it's getting low. Not low, but losing HP. But he responds with a really good Flamestorm on my crossbow units there and is able to get some good stuff there. Front line does get broken, Slangors get ripped up, and the Fury's just going to be going after the unpaid interns. In the meantime, on the flank, we do see the Bull Centaurs coming in, but this is an ideal situation for me. Hellstriders with Pleasure Seekers are going to obliterate these Bull Centaurs. So they're going to get charged very, very heavily, start getting the business. Hellstriders ripping them up, and the Pleasure Seeker is going to be piling in, doing some great damage as well, as the second Bull Centaur does move in. But I do have the advantage back here with the Hellstriders and the numbers. And the Mask is, Jim Carrey is doing some good work. And look at this, Jim Carrey has been Mortis Engineing the HP of these Infernal Ironsworn this entire time. So the Mask has been doing great work right there. All right, so here comes the Mask. Going to be surging forward really quick with its 70 movement speed. Backfield fight going very well for me. The Hellstriders and the Pleasure Seekers really able to rip into the Bull Centaur Renders. We also have Furies nearby. And you have to remember we have the Champions of Slaanesh, which are just embroiled in elite infantry, which is their natural habitat. So the Champions of Slaanesh are the Snake Boys, and they are in there, being attacked by Bull Centaurs a little bit. But if they can get on the Ironsworn, should be very, very good for us. We do see the big Destroyers chilling out here, but being a little bit surrounded by the Pleasure Seekers. My crossbows needing to retreat here, getting a little bit in the danger zone, so they will be setting up. Well, we pull back the Pleasure Seekers using the Waltz of Lethargy. So switching dances. Since there's no infantry nearby, the Mortis Engine not going to be as good, so we do switch onto the Waltz. So this gives all my nearby units 6 melee attack and takes away melee attack from enemy units. So pretty neat stuff. So those bad boys are going to be rumbling about. We do see the Pleasure Seekers boinking down the unpaid interns here, while Slangors are currently at 68 movement speed. Holy shit, 68 movement speed Slangors. Yeah, they're very low, but that is crazy effective, man. All right, Devotees with their bows still ripping shots here, so they're going to keep shooting there and just being Walmart shades, basically. And they are getting some good damage on this beast, while the Mask of Slaanesh and the Pleasure Seekers really able to stick on it. Pleasure Seekers do magic damage, which is nice against demonic pieces that have physical resist. Champions of Slaanesh in their natural habitat ripping apart the Infernal Ironsworn, and now another Pit of Shades is going to go down onto the Infernal Ironsworn as well as the Goblin Laborers here. and that will be able to do some good damage right there. Archer is still shooting, and honestly, let's see what their value is. I would wager about 800, give or take. Only 500, but yeah, over the course of the long game, maybe they will be able to squeak it in there. Mask of Slaanesh has switched back to the Mortis engine, so the Dance of Dreaming, and that helps to kill the elite infantry very, very effectively, while we do see the champions of Slaanesh, even though they are anti-infantry, they still have really good melee attack and also are decent against big targets. So they're getting a good envelopment there, while Dav does attempt to shut down my backfield using his Infernal Ironsworn there. Mask of Slaanesh able to get its Mortis engine drain, and I believe shutting down the Infernal Ironsworn there, so those guys going to be broken. So now the Mask, Jim Carrey's going to be heading over here to battle against the Kadai Destroyer. And Jim Carrey is an anti-infantry character, but still has high melee attack and can definitely punch through a Kadai Destroyer, especially with the support of some other elite units here. So going to be trying to take that beast down, looking around the battlefield. We do see Astrogoth battling the Bludger Seekers, which is honestly a little bit of a precarious one for him. The Pleasure Seekers do hit very hard against armor. The Astrogoth does have high melee defense, but Pleasure Seekers will be able to take quite a bit of HP off him. The Destroyer does get killed by the Mask, as well as